The Caleb Leverett radio program is dedicated to debunking the delusional American mythology known as statism.
Initiation of force is always immoral.
Always think outside the government. Always, 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 always think outside the government.
Always, always, always.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic.
Yes, I still like it raw.
Damn right.
Really, really raw.
Damn right.
Hello, all you crazy cats. This is the Caleb Leverett Show. I am your host. Actually, I'm just the co-host. I'm going to let Ben host tonight. I'll just be co-host. The Schmohawk.
Awesome.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, how are you Schmohawks doing out there tonight? You're going to let me host tonight?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It's a small world after all. Everybody, it's a small world. That's all we're doing for the next 2 hours. Just singing "It's a Small World." You don't want to get into the Ben Farmer brain.
Yeah, Ben's on. He's on crack.
We better let Caleb host.
Nah, I'll give up. No, I'm kind of sad right now.
What you said about?
Well, I told you poor Riggs a while ago.
You did, and yeah, I was wondering what's up with that.
For you that don't know, Riggs is my dog.
He's got eyebrows.
He has eyebrows. Ben compliments on his eyebrows every time he comes into our illustrious studio here.
Mm-hmm.
And I rescued Riggs. He's a rescue dog. I named him after the disgusting drilling rig that I rescued him off of. This wind.
Oh, it's nasty.
Is just overly disgusting.
Oh.
I've always hated wind, but now I loathe wind because wind hurt my dog.
Oh, did he get wind blown?
Worse.
He got wind.
There's this. I was at work today, and I work on Caterpillar engines, big, gigantic engine, and this radiator, this 200, maybe 300-pound radiator. I mean, this was a fluke deal. Just a fluke. The wind was blowing. This thing's been standing there for months and months and months. It's been standing in the same place. Never thought anything about it. Hell, I don't even know who put it there. The wind was blowing so damn hard, I just happened to be walking by. Of course, he shadows me. He follows me everywhere, every day. That's what he does. That's his life. He shadows me, and he loves it, and I love his company. He just happened to be walking right by the radiator, and the fucking wind blew this radiator over and landed on my dog.
Oh, are you serious? Oh,
I almost fell into tears.
Poor Riggs.
And I'll have to give it to old Riggs. I mean, Ben didn't even know anything was physically wrong with him. That dog is a badass. You can't even tell. And he limped for a while, but man, that first 30 seconds, he was crying. I think what makes me feel even worse is I think he thinks that I pushed it on him.
Oh, no, he doesn't think that.
Because I saw, it's like in slow motion. I saw this big-ass raider come down, and I go, oh, shit, Riggs back there. It happened just in a split second. And I reached and it fell and it landed on. He starts wailing. Oh. And of course, my Superman strength comes in and I'd grab that sumbitch and I flop it over like it was a rag doll. Oh. And he just kind of limps off and he's hollering and I'm just, my eyes. I mean, it was one of those near death situations. Yeah. If it had been Puss would have been dead. It would have just crushed little she, whatever she is. It'd have killed her. But I mean, I think it landed on it. At first, I thought it broke his leg, honestly. He was like, you know how dogs do when they're in pain. And I was just like, I mean, I took my gloves off and my eyes are big and I'm like almost in tears. I'm crying, getting down on his level. Saying, bud, what's the matter? I mean, you have just fucking radiator just fell on you. And I'm getting down. He starts like, he just can't, he's in shock. And he starts kind of like biting at me. He just doesn't know what to do. Oh. And he finally calms down, and I calm down, and I get him up to upstairs and put him down, lay him on the couch where he normally sleeps at night, and I loved on him a little bit. So anyway, it was kind of an eventful day. And I hate wind. I always hated wind anyway. Now I really hate wind.
Oh man, yeah. Damn Riggs wind. Is a super badass. He's not really that big of a dog. What, 45, 50 pounds, something like that.
45, 50.
He looks like a tiny German Shepherd. Is it like a tiny black and tan German Shepherd of some sort?
Maybe a cross between German Shepherd and a Rottweiler. The eyebrows,
Something like
the
that, yeah.
Rottweiler.
Well, German Shepherds have eyebrows, so.
Okay, but he's a little bit shorter here. Well, I don't know.
Well, I had a dog named Banjo look just like that, except for he was much, much bigger. But Riggs is such a badass that he got a female dog pregnant, and he doesn't even have nuts.
Yeah, no shit.
He doesn't even need no nuts, this dog.
That's right. Riggs, he's just the badass. He gets the badass of the day. We need to get a
Badass of the Day award. Yeah, that rarely happens. Normally we're just griping about shit.
Yeah, I was trying to do the right thing, but it was about a year ago, I guess.
Well, when you got the other dog?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and had Riggs' balls removed. He comes home the next day, and the female dog that I'd rescued was in heat. I mean, keep in mind, he just had surgery.
Yeah.
Just had surgery, not 24 hours ago. And, man, he hit that thing. He knocked her up.
He shot one into her.
Flawless. And she got pregnant. Of course, she only had 3 puppies. I never thought about it. Maybe that's the reason.
She only had 3. They were cute little fuckers, too.
Yeah, I hate to get rid of them. The kids... Ugh. I always get back. I link everything to my kids. I don't know why, but I do. But they all cry. They damn near just had a heart attack. I told them, I hated kids. I don't know what to do. I can't take care of them. I mean, there's a reason I cut his balls off because I didn't want any more kids. There's a reason I cut my own balls off.
Yeah.
I don't want any more kids. Jesus Christ.
Well, today on the show, we're going to be talking about, the old Mr. Presidente Doodah Day gave a pretty decent speech about immigration. I have to say, we were listening to it before the show, and you can say all you want to about the president, and of course we do all the time. He's a pretty good communicator. I mean, when he gives a speech, he's good at it.
He lies as good as any president I've ever seen. He's a really excellent liar.
They call Reagan the great communicator,
no kidding.
This guy.
I'd say Barack Obama, and I'm being genuine. Obviously, I'm kind of kidding when I call him a liar, even though he is. Just because he's the president, it's not because he's Barack Obama. He's the president. That's what politicians do. But yeah, I give it to him. He's very accurate. I mean, he got reelected after trying to pass some really, really, really unpopular legislation, and here he is again.
Yeah, people that I've spoken with call him the luckiest politician of all time. I mean, he really did just kind of shoot out of nowhere, became the president, and then got reelected.
I remember watching him get, I think it was in 2006, I believe. I remember watching him winning his election as
state senator.
No, I think was he senator.
He was a senator for Illinois.
Actually, I take that back. I think I remember even before that, he was a state rep for the state of Illinois.
Okay. Then
he made United States senator, and then obviously 2 years later, he's the king.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and not only did he do that, but we kind of tend to forget for some reason that he took on probably the most powerful, or certainly one of the most powerful political machines in the Clintons, in Hillary Clinton, and he was able to hold her off in the primary. So, hey man, he's no joke as far as politicians go. And we're going to play the speech he gave today about immigration. And hey, fellow libertarians. Doesn't sound so bad to me. I mean, the stuff he was saying is basically the stuff we talk about for the most part. Of course, not everything is, but so yeah, I think oddly, we found ourselves kind of nodding our heads listening to the speech, which I don't think either one of us were planning on doing, were we? So we're going to get into that here in a little bit. We're going to get into the death of Orville Redenbacher.
Oh, he died?
He died in 1995.
Oh, that's right.
In a jacuzzi surrounded by young women.
Weren't we supposed to talk about that last night?
We may have talked about it last night. I'm not. Yeah, in fact, Libertarian Ann was going to call in, and we were going to talk about the death of Orville Redenbacher.
Yeah, I remember you had talked about that, but I'm just now.
And then we'll also be taking your calls over here. Our phone number. Well, we'll give the phone number out in just a little bit. We're not quite ready for you schmohawks yet. With your retarded opinions about things. Actually, we haven't.
That was rude.
Well, I loathe the people who listen to us. I hate them all.
Do you? Well, that's why you call them schmohawks?
Mm-hmm. I hope they die in a fire.
you're really onto something here.
Mhm.
Ben and I joked off air right before it came on. Maybe we ought to do a what do you call it? A racist, bigoted show. Just show how absurd racism and bigotry is, and just really get down to the nitty gritty. But I don't know if we should or not.
To do a racist show?
Well, kind of like we did last night. We said, "Fuck it, I hate Adam. Go get it. That dirty Jew." That
We might work our way into racism tonight. Oh, it does always scare me because people try to pigeonhole libertarianism as being a right-wing movement, and so I feel like I am always trying to convince people, no, not at all. I don't see us as, I tend to see us as a left-wing movement. But, really it's neither. It's neither.
No, there are definitely right and left within the movement, but I consider myself an individualist. So
right, exactly. And if you talk to each individual libertarian, I think we're all going to have our own take on things, and that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's why we kind of tend to gripe at people who start who just, I'm not listening to him because he's a statist. Well, okay, but now you're acting like a religious person who just sticks your fingers in your ear and goes, la 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 la.
I'm not going to listen to you.
Right. No,
You're a different religion than me.
No, the entire point of libertarianism is that we're rational. We will listen to you. You're allowed to have your own opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
You're encouraged to have your own opinion.
Encouraged to have your own opinion.
So that's kind of the
don't
point.
bow down to someone else simply because they don't like your opinion and they tell you they've got a different opinion. Say, okay, I acknowledge your opinion. I hear your opinion. I'm willing to change my mind and go with your opinion if you have rational proof to show me why your opinion is better than my opinion.
You might just learn something from one another.
You got to be open. You certainly have to be open. This whole having a platform because your party told you how to fucking think, like the Republicans and Democrats, and even the Libertarian Party, I'll say that. They have a platform, and maybe I'm stepping on some toes there, but I just don't, whatever their platform is, unless I think about each individual thing on my own, I'm not going to be told how to think by any political party.
Yeah, well, more than that, though, just the rhetoric that comes out when you hear, okay, recently it's been about the gun control issue. The gun control people say, well, we have the highest amount of gun violence in the world. And then the pro-gun people will say, yeah, but if everyone had a gun, like Switzerland, we would have less violent crime. It comes down to rhetoric. And once everything gets just entrenched in rhetoric, no progress is being made. And so that's why what we talked about last night was, let's try to find the common goals. That's what we're here to do as libertarians. We're not Democrats. We're not Republicans. We agree with certain aspects from both of the parties. So let's focus on those things. Let's win some friends. That's what we can do over the next 10 years, is let's win some friends.
Oh, no. Over the next 4 years.
Over the next 24 hours. I challenge everybody.
We all know that Rand Paul's going to be running in 2016, right?
I don't know how I feel about Rand Paul. I went over to that left testicle earlier today and kind of knocked on the door. For those of y'all new to the show, we broadcast from not only behind Ron Paul's face on Mount Rushmore, but we are deep in the mountain in Ron Paul's right testicle. We're pretty sure that Rand comes from the left testicle because we went over there one time and it was so terrifying we will never speak about it. We will not tell you what happened over there. It was awful. So we went over there. I got my balls up and I tapped on the door over there today. And
did he give you a speech about not being? Cutting off all foreign aid and then saying I changed my mind. I'm a Zionist now.
Yeah, he didn't. Everything that happened was very confusing. Like, have you seen the movie Beer Fest? When they're first.
I think I played in that.
When they're in the hallway about to get to the Beer Fest, and it's like a guy in a rabbit suit riding a unicycle or a tricycle, and then there's like a gay leather daddy coming up to hit. It was just confusion. The left testicle. I don't know what happens over there. But we think that might be where Rand came from, and it's I don't know how I feel about it. It might be a utopia over there. I'm not positive, but
Well, you got to think about it. Rand has young children. He's got a very large family. He comes from a very prominent family as far as the last name. Politics is a really, most people, they say, yeah, politics dirty. No, I think it's really dirty. And you never know. He might have guns to his kid's head. Not him, but somebody else saying, Senator Paul, we all know that you're a puppet. And if you want to keep your right testicle and your child, you never know what's happening. You never know what. And maybe that's the reason that he's just not his dad. He just wasn't able to, I don't know, principally stand on what he claims. He took some heat. He did some good things. He had some great speeches, especially while he's running for office. But hey, speaking of, I get so tired of national politics. Maybe you've kept up with it, Ben. The Benghazi game. Did Senator Paul? Didn't he grill?
He tried to, but honestly, Hillary kind of gave it back to him.
Okay, did she? Okay,
yeah.
I saw a lot of hubbub about it. People posting about it on Facebook. Some of my liberal friends saying, Rand's an ass, and then. More conservative friends said, yeah, Rand served Hillary on a silver platter, and I didn't watch it. I've never even kept up. I don't even know what hardly happened in Benghazi.
Just very clever, that lady. I mean, you're not going to trap her so easily, I don't think. Really, what it came down to was the liberal machine, the social media machine. Rand Paul phrased a question, and he started with, well, if I had been president, ... And that's what set off the liberal social media machine. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, little boy?
He said that?
Yeah.
Had I been president?
Had I been president, I would have done this.
Well, he made that speech here, or not speech,
That's
that
right.
interview here like a week ago where he said, yeah, something like I'm wanting to be, I like the sound of that, President Paul.
Right, exactly. But the way Hillary just shrugged him off, it really made him look kind of bad. By the way, I'm not a Hillary fan here. But I understand the game. And Rand is playing the game. Make no mistake, Ron probably didn't play the game. But you know what?
That's why I like Ron Paul. He didn't play the game. Well, he did a little bit.
A little, but really not very much. And as a result, he generated very little political capital, is what they call that. Political capital, which I think is what Rand is trying to generate right now. He's a young senator. He's trying to generate some political capital. He's playing the game, folks. So I'm trying not to be too hard on him because I understand that that's what he is doing.
Right, and same here, but I'm going to be a little hard on him.
Exactly.
I mean, he did that interview, and he'd already run on getting rid of taking the more or less the libertarian stance of doing away with all foreign aid. Right. And then he explicitly said,
well, Israel is an exception.
Yeah, an attack on Israel is an attack on the U.S. Okay, really? Is that the 51st state?
I saw John J. Myers, who was our Senate candidate down here in Texas, and he said, somebody should get Rand Paul a map. Get him a geography lesson, because I don't see Israel anywhere in the United States. So, yeah, I think he's trying to generate...
it might as well be. I mean, it's not physically connected just like Alaska and Hawaii aren't, so who knows?
Might as well be. I mean, really, that is the way we treat it.
Might as well. It might as well. Exactly. It might as well already be.
Mm-hmm. So, he's playing the game, folks. So, yes, I think we should continue to be critical of him. But, understand, he's not playing the same game that we're playing. He's not trying to create a more... Well, he is trying to create a more moral society, but he's trying to do it through politicking. And I'm not completely ready to abandon politics, but it is a slow, ridiculous process. Anyone who's been in a business negotiation, or any negotiation at all, really, understands the concept of, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And that's the political game. Is you're trying to inch your way in. Just take an inch at a time. So, yeah, if we're going to attack him about morality, he's going to lose every time. He's a politician.
Right. Well, I'm way past ready to abandon politics, but unfortunately, 90% of the population is not.
Well, I'd say 50% is not because that's the only 50% vote. And that's only in presidential elections.
They all like the idea of having presidents and representatives.
Well, they don't. I don't like it, and I vote. Because it's a tool that I can use. It might be a ridiculous tool, but is it any more ridiculous than having a radio show on Liberty Movement Radio?
Yeah, but
I'm
whatever.
not sure that it is.
The things that we say don't affect other people. Our policy, we don't set policy. We don't have, our opinions are simply our opinions. They're like, okay, so you're an anarchist, so what? Well, okay, well, I mean, their opinions, politicians' opinions, affect my life because my money gets stolen from me on a daily basis, and they call it taxation, and I'm supposed to be okay with that.
Well, of course, you're not supposed to be okay with that. I think that's exactly why we challenge the system. I mean, the system sucks. We don't need it anymore. Maybe at one point in human history it was necessary to have a representative government, because not everyone could make it to Philadelphia for the big vote. Hey, we're all packing up and we're all going to Philadelphia for the big vote. But you know what we have now in our hands, except for the proctors, by the way, they don't have cell phones. But every other human on the planet has these little cell phones. We could totally be voting on bills ourselves. I mean, couldn't we? Already, innovation and technology has outpaced.
Well, if that's the case, could we not be abolishing the people who propose the bills via our cell phones? If we wanted to?
Sure. Abolishing the people who oppose our cell phones?
No. Who are proposing these bills?
Yeah, absolutely. We could all be proposing bills. We could take votes on Facebook or something, and then it could all go to a big vote.
Now, I see where you're going, but you are sounding kind of ridiculous to certain, the status type. So explain yourself on that.
Well, the reason we have a representative republic is because we couldn't all get out there and vote on things. So we elected a guy who we trusted to vote on things the way we would want to vote on things.
And he always just comes through, or she. Right. It could be she.
Absolutely. But we kind of don't need that anymore. And then people say, well, yeah, but people get a hack into the system. Well, yeah, people can pay off your congressman, too. I mean, what's the difference?
You don't say.
Hey,
politicians don't get paid.
Sure they do.
Come on.
Sure they do. And they do it in both legal and illegal ways. Another argument people have with that is, well, I really don't want everyone, because there's a lot of stupid people. I don't want everybody voting on. I want someone who's well-informed to be voting on things.
Yeah, well-informed crooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well-informed assholes.
Why?
Well-informed selfish sons of bitches who will only do it.
Who are working the system?
Working the system, doing it for them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And the people who are disinterested in politics, they just won't be getting on there voting, on a regular basis. They'll get on there on a big vote. Hey, let's go to war, or hey, let's not go to war. People will get on that vote. Yeah, bomb the brown people. That might happen a lot. I don't know. By the way, I'm not trying to propose a system. I'm just saying that technology and innovation has already outpaced the idea of the representative democracy. It's already, we can see a time in our lifetimes where the representative democracy is going to already seem ridiculous, right? I think we can all agree. It's starting to feel silly.
Well, looking back at history, it started to become silly just shortly after it was proposed. I mean, the founding dudes, within just like 12 years of the ratification of the scroll, had already imprisoned congressmen and other people for criticizing and breaking their own laws that they swore that wasn't going to happen, called the Alien Sedition Acts.
Exactly.
It's just so stupid.
Mm-hmm. So it's all silly. It's all just silly. And that's why I choose to feel like it's silly instead of, oh, God, let's...
But like you, Ben, I do agree. It certainly had its place in history.
Sure.
It really did. I guess it's irrelevant whether I'm glad it happened or not glad, but I am glad it happened. But like you said, it's old.
Yeah, it's done. And the way...
That's old technology. It's old technology.
Right. The ways that humans have created peaceful societies all throughout history, they've all advanced, and they're constantly changing. So I think we're just on the precipice of the next evolution. We're on the precipice of the next evolution. Everyone in Washington, D.C. already said, here come the libertarians. They're coming. We're going to have to be dealing with it. So let's go ahead and prepare for it.
Yep. libertarians going. And that kind of brings us into the latest, greatest puppet show that's been going on apparently on the news. Since I don't watch TV, all I get is clips that people post. The immigration bill, the next distraction from the new reelected king to get everybody all up in arms. And I think, like Ben said, he made some good points. But at the same time, I don't buy into it. I know it's just a big ploy just to really, really rib the hardcore Republican dudes. We good?
Yeah, man.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's just a ploy to rib just really get them all riled up.
What are you referring to? The immigration stuff?
Yeah, he gave a speech today. I think he was in Las Vegas.
He was. In fact, my roommate got stuck on the tarmac in Las Vegas because Air Force One was landing. She got a pretty decent picture of it as well.
Well, anyway, he was in Las Vegas giving his speech, and like Ben said, he made some good points.
Throw it up there.
I'll throw it up, and we'll just give a little commentary as the King Obama gives his commentary and woos all his followers. Hey, I'm going to take it off mute, too. Guess, yeah, by golly. Where's his buddy? And here we go. The President of the United States of America.
American investors, we should help you do that here. Because if you succeed, you'll create American businesses and American jobs. You'll help us grow our economy. You'll help us strengthen our middle class.
Hang on, he's talking about, we kind of cut in the middle here.
That's what comprehensive immigration reform looks like.
He's talking about if you're from a foreign land, but you want to come and start a business here with United States investors, hey, we're cool with that. That sounds awesome. Why are we impeding that sort of transaction? Which is exactly what we say in the Liberty Movement all the time. Why is that? Why is it easier for me to do business with a guy in New Jersey than it is for me to do business with a guy 3 hours away on the Mexican border? It's silly.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Smarter enforcement, a pathway to earn citizenship,
permission from government,
improvements in the legal immigration system so that we continue to be a magnet for the best and the brightest all around the world. It's pretty straightforward. The question now is simple. Do we have the resolve as a people, as a country, as a government to finally put this issue behind us? I believe that we do. I believe that we do.
You think so?
Well, he's getting bipartisan support here. I mean, this is...
Yeah, he even brings up Ted Kennedy and Bush.
Well, Kennedy was a Democrat, but McCain has always been a big proponent of immigration reform, and he should be, with an Irish name like McCain. And this is where I gathered all my opinions on immigration, was when I lived with illegal Irish immigrants in New York City. And
Ben Farmer lived with a bunch of illegal Irish immigrants in New York.
And they wanted to be they wanted to be legal. They were trying to be legal. All right? None of these people were trying to be here illegally and milking the system. That was not at all the case.
I would.
There was no benefit. They wanted to be legal.
Right.
And you know what our legal immigration policy was?
What?
Every year they would pick, 100 names out of a hat. Literally out of a hat. And go, congratulations, Seamus McCoy. You now have a social security number and you're now legal.
Seamus
and then all of us would go out and go drinking to celebrate.
That was the policy back in...
Oh, this was 2005. Still the policy.
Really?
Yeah, each country.
That damn random?
Yeah, each country gets a certain allotted amount of people who can legally immigrate from that country. And Ireland's is just really small because they have a small population. But it's like that all over the world,
I can't help but think of, this same, we'll get into Barack Obama. He'll bring it up in the speech later on, but these 11 million quote-unquote illegals. And back then I was a statist. I remember George W. Bush talking about the same thing. These presidents have been talking about immigration reform for as long as as long as my political life, my political consciousness has been aware of it. They keep talking about the same thing, and not a damn thing changes, except if he's got a D next to his name, we love him if we're Republican, or we hate him if he's a Republican. And if he's got an R next to his name, we hate him if we're Democrats. It's just so silly.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, when a president enters his second term and his first speech that he gives, other than the inauguration, is about immigration, I'm telling you, there's a lot of political power that comes from that. Washington is swinging. Okay, we're going to be dealing with the immigration issue. So unless something wacky happens in the next month or 2 months, really, we're going to immigration. President Obama right now is saying we're going to do something about this.
Yeah, but maybe my mind just won't turn off. You know, the only reason whatever he or any other politician says means anything is simply because 330 million people believe it. That's it. Whatever his policies, whether it's his policies, Rand Paul's policies, name your Democrat and pick your Republican, whatever their policies are, doesn't matter. Oh, in this particular case, it's talking about immigration, which translation means a human being walking from one point of a line in a sand to another point of piece of real estate. Yeah, that's all it is.
It's silly. Let the free market decide how many immigrants we can handle. You know?
So whatever their policy is, and the only reason it has any power is because 330 million people believe it has power. If 330 million people all of a sudden woke up all of a sudden and said, you know what, screw you and your policy, I think I like this place, but my family's been here for a long time, and I think I'm just happy. Mm-hmm. But it's this superstition of believing that other hierarchical people are rule over you is just so silly to me. I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent.
No, you're fine. That's exactly right. It's these arbitrary, invisible lines that they want to make sure that when somebody comes into the tax farm, they have to see it as their
to live here.
That's right.
Did you know, Ben Farmer, there would be no such thing as animals if we didn't have farms.
Exactly.
Animals wouldn't exist.
Nope.
We've got to have farms. We've got to have fences. Because all the cows would die. They'd die in the streets. And all the horses. And all the sheep. Oh, did I say sheep? No pun intended. Yeah, pun intended. Bunch of sheep. Okay, let's listen to the guy who 330 million people, actually about half the population, complains about, thinks they have to have a president, then complains when they get a president. This guy who's got stroke because everybody thinks he has stroke. He was only the predecessor. His predecessor was merely George W. Bush.
Form is within our grasp. But I promise you this, the closer we get, the more emotional this debate is going to become. Immigration's always been an issue that inflames passions. That's not surprising. You know, there are few things that are more important to us as a society than who gets to come here and call our country home. Who gets the privilege of becoming a citizen of the United States of America. That's a big deal. When we talk about that in the abstract, it's easy sometimes for the discussion to take on a feeling of us versus them. And when that happens, a lot of folks forget that most of us used to be them. We forget that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really important for us to remember our history. You know,
makes a
unless
good
you're
point
one of the
right here.
First Americans, a Native American, you came from someplace else. Somebody brought you. You know, Ken Salazar, he's of Mexican American descent, but he points out that his family's been living where he lives for 400 years, so he didn't immigrate anywhere. The Irish, who left behind a land of famine.
Hey-o.
The Germans, who fled persecution. The Scandinavians who arrived eager to pioneer out west. The Polish, the Russians, the Italians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the West Indians, the huddled masses who came through Ellis Island on one coast and Angel Island on the other. Well,
all right. I mean, I don't think any of us are going to disagree with anything the president just said there. I mean, that's part of the reason this country was able to advance as quickly as it did. It's because we had the best and brightest thinkers from all over the world coming here, freely starting businesses, coming up with new inventions, new ideas. And it's only since and that's because we had a largely non-regulated economy. If you wanted to start a business, you just set up a shack somewhere and said, hey, I'm in business. I dare you to try to start a business today. See how much red tape you have to cut through.
Yep.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And of course you have to have a social security number. Don't even think about getting a regular job unless you have a social security number. I had one of my Irish buddies. His mom was American and his dad was Irish. He grew up in Ireland, but because his mom was American, he had a social security number. And he had a great job. He was a bartender at an awesome Irish pub there in New York City. It's called Kennedy's. I still try to go there every time I'm in town. So yeah, if we were to start just ignoring these arbitrary lines, business would be better. The market would support it, or the market wouldn't, and the people would disappear because they would go to brighter or greener pastures, as it were. There's a market solution to this.
Yeah, but like I said, he made a good point again about the people who did come over here and were met by other human beings that were already here.
Mm-hmm.
They're called, we like to call them Indians, indigenous people,
whatever. Indians, Native Americans,
whatever you want to call them. Yeah, they were already here. And
they got the shit genocided out of them, too.
Yeah, damn right.
Ooh, they got the shit genocided out of them.
People don't like to acknowledge that.
Oh, well, it's easy when you go. If you've ever been to Mexico, you realize that there are a lot of white people in Mexico as well. Because when the white people came to Mexico, they just kind of started having sex with the Indians.
Right.
And that's with the Spanish. The Spanish, they converted them to Catholicism.
Yeah.
Spanish people started just banging the Indians. Whereas when the British and the Dutch came here, and the Germans, they said, you know what? Let's just genocide. We'll call it manifest destiny, and we'll just genocide the shit out of the Indians. So that's, there you go. There's a history of our country.
Yeah, okay. And then you add in there things like, is it Wounded Knee?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever see that movie? Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Oh, no. I don't think I have.
Oh, my. Ow. Wow. I mean, it's worth watching. It's about the, I don't even know if you'd call it a battle. It's more like the massacre of Wounded Knee. And there's like 200 and something, or maybe 500 something Native Americans. Just all of a sudden, they were, being moved over to these, what is essentially concentration camps. In traditional American lingo, they called them, what do they call them? Reservations.
Oh, yeah.
They call them reservations. There was essentially a concentration camp because they're concentrating the certain indigenous people, but simply because of their race in a certain place.
They weren't allowed to have guns.
Right.
They weren't allowed.
All of a sudden, something happened, and bam! Like 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 men, women, children were just slaughtered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's genocide, folks.
Yay,
genocide.
Yeah, yay, genocide. Yay, governments. Yay, politicians. This is, what'd you call it, manifest destiny. This is what's got to happen. And screw people who already live in here. Screw human rights. Screw not just men, but women and babies.
Oh, especially women and babies.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then again, we could always get into Barack Obama's favorite pastime of playing Nintendo with drones and bombing children, men, women, children indiscriminately. Was it Pakistan? Is that the latest one?
The newest one actually is Mali.
Where's Mali? I don't know where that's at.
I want to say it's in Africa, but to be honest, I'm not even sure.
Oh, okay.
a little upset at myself.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I was just curious.
Yeah, so yeah, Mali, we're rolling around out there. Yeah, Syria, Pakistan, Yemen. Yemen's a good one. Someone in the chat room mentioned up how the Japanese Americans during World War II were rounded up and thrown into concentration camps. One of the most famous ones being George Takei. You guys familiar with George Takei? He played Sulu on the original Star Trek.
I never knew how to pronounce his last name.
He spent several years growing up in one of those concentration camps on the West Coast. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you know, that stuff really happened. That stuff really absolutely
That's
happened.
interesting.
Mm-hmm. And
is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's got a great Facebook page where he's always posting funny videos and pictures. And George Takei.
Well, at least he's got a good sense of humor, regardless of how he was treated by his own bullshit country.
Mm-hmm.
At least he's got good. I admire that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. You know, sometime in life, you know, life kicks you between the nutsack, and it just pisses you off, and you get really angry. And you know, for someone to be happy, like how do you say, George Takei? George Takei, to just be happy about it, and you know, say, you know, I guess que sera, sera, what will be, and just move on with it. Good for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be put in a concentration camp.
Yeah.
Wow. And then just be okay with it.
Just be okay. Now, to be fair, it was not the same caliber concentration camp as what the Jews experienced in Nazi Germany.
Of course. But I'm certainly not comparing the two. But a concentration camp was concentration.
Oh yeah, they couldn't leave.
It's merely imprisoning people of certain ethnic race or whatever, or in a certain area because of who they are, and because they look like others who are also now, like Ben said, obviously. The concentration camps in Nazi Germany where the Jews were sent, and you know that was some brutal shit. But you know that even being said, they're not unique. There's been lots. Human beings are just mean sons of bitches, and I don't know why. I mean, what's the latest statistic? Something like 250 million people were murdered by government agents in the last century alone.
Oh yeah, I'd say that's conservative. I mean,
maybe more.
Mm-hmm. I spent all day at the Holocaust Museum a couple of weeks ago,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, we all grow up, you know, learning about what happened at these places, and we've even all probably seen documentaries about it. There was a moment where I was standing inside one of the train carts that was used to ship. They crammed 100 Jewish people, well, and probably Jehovah's Witnesses. Anyways, they crammed 100 people into this little train cart where these people spent the next 3 or 4 days. This was just one cart. There were thousands on that train, full of 100 people apiece, and they spent 3 or 4 days just not sleeping. Some people died. You're just crammed in there like sardines, and people would remember those 3 days as the best 3 days that would happen to them over the next couple of years. It was very sobering. If you've never been to the Holocaust Museum, that alone is worth a trip to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Just to feel...
Okay, I've got a question. And you know my strange brain. The Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. Now... let me finish this before, especially the listeners. Let me finish this so I don't appear to be an ass. But is that who funds? How is that? If you know, Ben, how is that funded? Do you have any idea? Is it permission from governments? Is it sponsored by the federal government in particular? Is it? And I'm not denying what happened in the Holocaust. Don't even go there with me. I'm not talking to you, Ben. Any listeners going to be listening, but is there any chance? Because I know how governments act, and I know how they think, and I know how they operate. Is there any possibility that this Holocaust Museum is drummed up to garner support for Israel? I say not the Israeli people, the Jewish people. I'm talking about the state, the government. Is there a possibility, or am I just reading too much into this? Is it strictly a museum, regardless of how it's funded? It's actually portraying what happened, in your opinion?
Well, I think both is the answer. So I think it is run strictly as a museum. But you see this phrase come up a lot. It's called, they say, never again. Never again. You see that all over the place. I think it's even on the front of the building. And I think we all agree, never again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is it...
meaning never again will we fall for this kind of crap and this little tiny erosion of our civil liberties?
Yes.
And then, okay.
Yes, and you see the quote from Niemeyer that we put up all the time. First they came for the communists, and I said nothing because that quote is all over the Holocaust Museum.
Oh.
So, does it somehow benefit the state of Israel? Probably, but they don't talk about the state of Israel very much in there, other than
everybody
to give the history. Other than to give the history. I mean, the Holocaust Museum, is it a form of propaganda? Or is it just a museum? I'm willing to say I'm leaning towards museum.
Just in a relation, let's say use 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 3,000 people roughly died on 9/11 because of buildings collapsing. Okay, obviously, there are some rotten sons of bitches that may be rejoicing that, but I mean, just the loss of human life. But then obviously there are people who exploit it. And the biggest exploiters of that are obviously federal government, because we got 10 different new federal agencies because of them exploiting the death of people.
Right.
So obviously the Holocaust did happen.
Oh, yeah.
It was a horrible, there's pictures and actually video and documentaries, endless documentaries. I've watched a bunch of them. But I can't help but think that there are those greedy sons of bitches who will exploit it and use it to garner support, whether it's for personal gain or for votes. If you're a crooked-ass politician. Actually, that was kind of redundant.
Sure, and I'm sure that there are people, but I repeat myself. I'm sure there are people who could use the Holocaust as a way to advance whatever their personal agenda is. But I'm not ready to call out the Holocaust Museum as an agent.
I'm just simply asking questions. I'm asking questions. They'll say follow the money.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to find out where they're.
Well, half is from federal sources and half is from private donations. Is what it says here, and it's a chunk. It's about $78 million. Let's see, operating. Yeah, so that's yearly, $78 million a year to keep this place going.
How can that be?
Well, it's massive. First of all, this is not the Presidential Archive in Odessa, Texas.
Okay.
This would be the largest building in either Odessa or Midland.
Really?
Oh, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Okay.
I mean, it's massive. The first thing that happens when you walk in is they kind of calmly direct you a certain direction.
I got to ask, is there an admission charge?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's why your tax money pays for half of it.
Okay, half the tax money. That's why it's free because
right. So the first thing they do is there's two areas. One says women and one says men. And I walked over clearly to the man part, and you pick up a passport, and it's a passport of somebody who actually went through the Holocaust. And you read through it. This guy was a dentist. And he had 3 kids, and they got separated in this ghetto. And then he was taken to Auschwitz on this date where he died. And he was put into the gas chamber on this date. And you're looking at a picture of a guy. They hand you this passport, and that's the first thing that happens. All right? They're trying to make, and you make personal connections as best as you can at a museum, of course, with the people going through this stuff. There's giant, panoramic models of the gas chambers. There's a pile of shoes. All right, a pile of shoes. It's just got thousands of shoes in there that were taken off of people who were victims to the gas chambers. Wow. And it's sobering. It's haunting. And
I watched what's his name? Steven Spielberg's movie.
Schindler's List, yeah.
It's been a long, long time. I need to watch it again, but should I boycott Schindler's List? Spielberg, simply because I disagree with him politically?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, it's a good film.
I just broke one of my own rules. I asked myself a question and answered. That is one of the most annoying things people do. Jeez Louise, and I did it. Now, have you ever seen The Pianist?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, I watched that again very recently. I don't remember where I was. Oh, man, that was a hard movie to watch.
Adrian Brody, he actually lost the weight, and he learned how to. That's actually him playing the piano. He didn't know how to play the piano before that movie.
Really?
Yeah, he learned how to play that.
Wow.
I want to say it's a Chopin piece, but I'm not sure. But yeah, he won an Academy Award for that role. I mean,
he damn well deserved it.
Yes, he did.
If you've not seen The Pianist, wow. And it's even more intriguing now that you said that Adrian Brody didn't know how to play.
Didn't know before that.
Learned how to play. Wow. That
broke up with his girlfriend, who he was living with, and moved away just so he could feel lost. So he could feel that loss during scenes when he needed.
Really?
Yeah, when he needed to cry or something. Yeah. Cut off all communication with her. I mean, he sold out for that role, and it's powerful. So another thing that happens at the Holocaust Museum is there's a group of people that stands outside right next to where the line forms, and they're holding signs that say, "Never again" means Palestine as well. And I walked up to them, and they handed me a brochure.
Okay, you're going to explain that?
Sure. So what they're comparing the current Israel-Palestine, Israel just went into Palestine and said, "This is our shit now." And in very similar ways, they keep the Palestinians in certain neighborhoods reminiscent of the ghettos that the Jews were put into by the Germans. And it's very similar in ways to the things that German and Polish Jews went through during World War II, is what the Israeli government is now doing to the Palestinians who live on their land. So it's powerful. It was hard. It took me a couple of days, honestly, to process it. We came out of there and we all had to go back to the hotel immediately and take a nap. I mean, it's hard. Yeah, it's difficult to go through, but I highly recommend going through the Holocaust Museum.
So you said never again. That is never again. What
means Palestine as well?
Means Palestine, meaning we're not, the senseless murder of the Palestinian people of Palestinian descent is not necessary, just like it wasn't necessary for us.
Precisely. Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of Facebook pages of Israel loves Palestine and Palestine loves Israel.
Right.
They make these peaceful pacts. They make these nice videos of, say, a Palestinian man say in his 20s making some very nice comments about a Israeli man in his 80s or something. They go back and forth, and they say, "I don't hate you. I don't know you. You're
right.
I'm beyond this hatred. We can coexist peacefully." And I'm a big fan of that. I'm a huge fan of that. And I will keep pointing out that statism is death. Statism is destruction. The Palestinians and the Israelites, they've been fighting for thousands of years. I mean, Jordan Page wrote a beautiful, beautiful song about it called Sons of Abraham. And he's talking about that very thing. Mm-hmm. The exact very thing. They're fighting back and forth, and it never stops. And it's over. He didn't say statism in the song, but the pointless murder simply because someone looks different than you or has a different lineage than you.
Right. Well, and the Jews and Arabs have the same lineage. According to both of their religions.
Right. Exactly.
It was a brotherly feud.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think as libertarians we lose sight of.
Hence the reason Sons of Abraham.
Right.
That's why he named it that name. They're pretty much the same people, but one's great granddad is one child of Abraham, and the other one's descendant is the other child of Abraham.
Mm-hmm. This is why I think the most powerful message we have is the message of peace and love. That is the most powerful message that we have. It wins all the time, and it's when we get away from our peace and love message that we're not gaining friends. We might lose friends that way. Remember, it's all about peace and love. All right? There is terrible things that happen in this world. I mean, oh my God, there are terrible things that happen. There are terrible things that happen to us as individuals. Life will kick you in the nuts. But you can't abandon that non-aggression principle, man. It's about peace and love.
Amen.
You want to play some more Obama? Or are we pretty much done with him?
Actually, you know how Skype does. We got to reset every hour. I'm ready to take a little break. And I'm going to plug my good friend Jordan Page, and I've got this song here. Hang on, let me look it up.
Well, we can't do both.
Do what?
Sign off and play that song.
No, I know, but we always have to refresh, whether you refresh now or refresh in 5 minutes or 4 minutes after it's over.
Yeah, okay. So we're at here, and we're going to play something from Jordan Page called Sons of Abraham.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
And then we're going to take a little break, and we'll be taking your calls here in the next hour. You are listening to the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com. I just have to say I'm really happy that Riggs is good, man. I'm glad that Riggs is all right after a massive thing fell on top of him today. Didn't dent his eyebrows or anything. He's a tough little bastard.
Honestly thought his damn leg was broke. I was scared. I was really, really scared. It was frightening.
Well, I'm trying to give as much filler as possible. You're not able to find it?
Well, I've got him. It's a long story. I had my computer crashed 5 months ago, and I've got one set of songs on one part of my hard drive and one set of songs on the other part of my hard drive. It's just called Sons of Abraham, and for whatever reason, I can't pull the damn thing up.
Well, that's all right.
Ah, here it is.
Oh, there it is. Nope. Well.
Hang on. Yeah, I'm really, really close. I swear to God I am. Music. Yeah, that's... Oh, well, do what we need to do. If you want to do the...
We're going to sign off here. We're going to sign right back on at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. That's about 2.5 minutes from now. Proctor, if you're ready to... I tell you what, Proctor's going to play us a Light of the Revolution from Jordan Page.
And then I'll do mine.
And we'll be right back with the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com. Stick around.
Ready, go.
Have you heard the people calling who are hungry in the night? Have you heard the prayers of soldiers who are weary from the fight? Have you heard the voice of wisdom in a time of pure deceit? Have you heard the path to freedom is a road you rise to meet? Have you heard the bonds of slavery are forged with paper chains? And the red sun that is rising sets on all of us the same. Unless we stand together now, we all will surely fall. And I heard the call in the words of Dr. Paul. Have you ever seen a country bent and broken on its knees? Or a line 10 miles long of hungry, homeless, begging please? Or a banking institution funding both sides of a war? Or its chairman spouting lies upon the House committee floor? Have you ever seen a talking head on television sway? The people through deception telling lies to earn his pay. Oh, can't you feel the ground shake? These institution walls, I'll watch them fall when I stand with Dr. Ball. Now let the people learn to reason. Now let them stand up on their own. Now let the light of say the truth is treason in the empire of lies. And the enemies of freedom are all cleverly disguised in temples made of marble where the corporations reign. And the only ones who benefit stand far above the pain as the people battle poverty, depression and disease. And a crisis turns to meltdown and the liquid starts to freeze. But the printing press is roaring, leaving trillions in its wake. And history won't forgive those who don't learn from their mistakes, as the rights of individuals are stripped down more and more. And we all can finally see the hidden face behind the war. Unless we stand together now, this fate will touch us all. We stand free and tall as we march for Dr. Paul. We march for Dr. Paul. We march for Dr. Paul.
Oh, and I think we are back here on the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com.
We're talking about Ben and I had kind of had a different program that we were going to talk about, but this is turning out really, really beautiful. I enjoy talking about not enjoy, but I think it's productive to talk about the past atrocities committed by the opinions of rulers. And we've been talking about the Holocaust and the Wounded Knee deal that happened here on these own shores, relating that to what Barack Obama is talking about as far as immigration policy and renewing it, which is just, that's just political speak. But, he did say some things that were actually correct, I actually agree with.
Well, sure. Sure. I mean, how we feel in the Liberty Movement is the lines drawn around this country are arbitrary. They only represent the tax farm that you live in. Why is it easier for me to do business with a guy in New Jersey than it is for me to do business with a guy in Juarez? It makes no sense.
Nope.
And let the free market decide what the immigration policy is. Open the borders up. Let the free market decide. If a city can't handle this many people, then they won't handle it. It won't happen. They'll move on to greener pastures.
And I did find that song like 20 seconds after Proctor started playing the Light of Revolution. But I'll save the song for a minute. I would like to hear some more about your Holocaust. You and I talked a lot about your trip there, but we hadn't even touched on the Holocaust Museum. That's really, really interesting to me.
Yeah, well, it was very challenging. So...
What, if you don't mind, what was the general sentiment? Were people? I'm sure it's crowded, right?
Very crowded, but it was also you could hear a pin drop in there.
Okay, so it was very somber.
Yes, very much so.
People took this shit seriously.
Absolutely,
this is the death of human beings at the hand of the state, correct?
Absolutely.
And there wasn't a bunch of punk kids raising hell and doing dumb shit and doing.
No, not at all. I mean, and the artifacts that they have in there, or at least the replicas of artifacts. There's the boat that they used in, I think it was one of the Scandinavian countries. The boat they used to hide Jewish people and send them over to, to free areas. Yeah, it was disturbing. It was powerful. It was also, there was a lot of hope because there were a lot of humans that did the right thing. But you know what was really, I think, the most disturbing part where most of the people around did nothing at all. Yeah. They didn't hate the Jews, but they didn't But the concentration camp that was 6 blocks from their farm,
Right.
they just didn't ask questions.
You know, and it was such a very, from all the research I've watched, or movies, or documentaries, or books that I've read, they didn't do it very fast. It was very slow.
Absolutely.
It was a slow erosion of civil liberties.
Mm-hmm.
It was, you've just got to do this, and then you have to do that. And eventually they had to wear these armbands that they had on their, I think, right or left arm, I don't remember which one, that shows that they were Jewish. Mm-hmm. And then they had to do this, and then they had to do that. And it was just very, very, very subtle. And the guys who were pulling the triggers in the gas chambers were just doing their jobs. And my God, how history is starting to repeat itself.
That's why you always have to look at, if somebody's coming after your civil liberties for any reason, to protect the children, all right? Okay, I'm still suspicious of you. All right, I'm suspicious of you.
To protect the drivers.
I'm suspicious of you.
While driving. I'm suspicious of you.
Right. So if you're taking away my civil liberties for my own good.
To make sure you're safe on an airplane, I'm suspicious of you.
And I think that's a healthy suspicion.
It is. It's very healthy. Question everything.
Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, you might find yourself in a train.
In a concentration camp, whether it's in Germany or in the United States, and they will concentrate you into certain areas against your will.
And they try to work you to death, too. That was something that I really hadn't understood before visiting this museum, is if you got off the train and you seemed, weak at all, they just shot you right there. But you weren't expected to live for more than a couple of weeks. They tried to work you to death. That was It was unproductive work, too, much of the time. Move this pile of rocks over there. And then the next day, move that pile of rocks right back to over there.
Now, what's the purpose of that?
I don't know exactly what the purpose of that was.
I get, that's the Keynesian economics, break windows.
Break windows that helps the economy.
Or dig ditches and then hire someone to fill them back up.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was also...
Was it like brainwashing of the Jewish people to show control over? I don't know.
Oh, you could not possibly dominate a human more than these Jewish people were dominated in those camps. They would have.
What about the Native American Indians?
They had it pretty bad as well. And as we saw in that wonderful documentary, Django Unchained, those slaves were also very extremely...
It's not a documentary.
I know. I was being silly.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the
I just now got that.
the capacity of people to just utterly dominate other people to the point,
and so many people just go right along with it.
They just went right along. The people who lived in the surrounding areas just didn't ask questions.
Well,
didn't. They knew something was up.
Just like it is today.
Well, they could smell the bodies burning. They could see the ashes raining down on their own farms.
And they knew that they weren't outnumbered. They were not.
No.
There was many more of them than there were the rulers.
Absolutely.
Larkin Rose made a beautiful, wonderful video called The Tiny Dot. If you've not seen The Tiny Dot, just YouTube, Google search, whatever you want to call it, Larkin Rose, The Tiny Dot. The Tiny Dot is this speck, and he puts it into comparison on the big, massive amounts of everybody else. 300 million people. And we all obey this tiny speck. It's the same with the Native Americans. It's the same with the Jews that were put in the concentration camps. For some reason, people just obey because they're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to get out of line because these guys are so intimidating. They're so mean. They got really big guns. Well, yeah, they do have big guns. I'm not going to deny that. And they are intimidating. They are mean. They are ruthless. They are very confident. But the free people, the individuals, outnumber these fascist bastard assholes about 1,000,000 to 1, maybe 100 million to 1.
Yeah, I don't remember who said this, but the only thing that evil needs to succeed is for good men to do nothing.
I don't remember who said it either, but I've read it many, many times, and it's exactly correct.
Mm-hmm. Let's take some phone calls. Our phone number here at the Caleb Leverett Show is 605-787-1254. Again, your number is 605-787-1254 on the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com.
Okay, we were talking about the Palestinians and the Jews, and they all genetically, supposedly, if according to history, they're basically from the same descendants.
Oh, yeah, Arabs are actually Semitic. They're a Semitic people. So
Semitic. What?
Semitic. So you've heard the term anti-Semite. You're an anti-Semite, is what they say if you're, racist against Jewish people. Right. Arabs are also Semitic. They're also Semites.
I've always wondered.
So if you say,
where did that word come from?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know the.
I remember when I first
saw.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw somebody talking about anti-Semitic, and this is back when I was a statist, and I hate to say it, but back when I was watching Sean Hannity one time, like years and years ago. Somebody was being anti-Semitic. I mean, that might have been when The Passion of the Christ came out, Mel Gibson's movie, The Passion of the Christ. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what the hell is anti-Semitic? What does that mean? And then they were talking about I figured out with context clues, they're talking about, well, if you're anti-Semitic, that means you don't like Jewish people, or you're saying Jewish slurs and calling them dirty Jews or whatever.
Right.
And I didn't even know what it meant. I mean, I remember having to look it up, but I'm just curious.
The term Semite, it means a member of any of various ancient and modern Semitic-speaking peoples. So basically, it's Assyrians, Babylonians. It's a series of languages, like English is a Germanic language. Latin Spanish comes from Latin. French comes from Latin. Those are Romance languages. Comes from Rome.
Okay.
So yeah, Semitic refers to the.
So is that kind of like a bogus claim? If you're anti-Semitic, are you really saying you're anti anybody that comes from Abraham?
Well, that's the modern usage of the term.
Well, no, in the modern usage, it's
Jewish. Anti-Jewish is really,
which is the one half. It's the, I don't know, the descendants of the brother of the other brother, right? Of Abraham, correct?
Yeah. Well, okay. The sons of Abraham were Isaac and Jacob, I believe. Let me look this up.
I think that's
hang on here. Isaac, Ishmael. Those are the two.
That's
right.
it. Yeah, that's in the song.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, well, I've got the song up, and I would like to play this. Do you have any objection, host of the show?
No, that's right. I am hosting.
You are hosting. Do you have any
No, I
objection
don't.
to me playing this?
I don't. As long as I get to play a Patrice O'Neill clip later.
Goddamn right. Yeah, well, let's play some Patrice O'Neill. He just says it brilliantly when he talks about Barack Obama. Okay, this is a song by, like I said, our friend Jordan Page called Sons of Abraham. And by the way, Jordan Page is this close to recording his new album. If you get a chance, I don't have the link up here. He's got an Indiegogo campaign. He's raising money. He's a grassroots guy. Going to be just pulling all the stops out on this thing. So look up. But anyway, this is Sons of Abraham by Jordan Page. I'm turning up the volume now and pushing play.
Ishmael, I am the chosen one. Ishmael replied with confidence, but I'm the firstborn son. And Father Abraham, whose lack of faith was sure to blame, cast aside his older son and gave the younger boy his name. From that day, division has increased across the land. Bloodshed and religion are both practiced hand in hand. Fighting for identity and a place to lay a claim. Old Abraham's grandchildren fight eternally in vain. And everybody knows this kind of madness ends in vain. And a mighty judgment down the track will get us all the same. If you see a fireball descending just Isaac and his brother in the fight for Daddy's love. Old memories that date back to the days after the flood, and a hatred born from Abraham's betrayal of his blood. While everybody's waiting for their Savior to return, if you don't believe what they believe, you're gonna burn. But everybody knows this kind of madness ends in vain, and the mighty judgment down the track will get us all the same. If you see the fireball descending from above, it's just Ishmael and his brother in the fight for Daddy's love. Palestine are ancient holy lands, where prophets walked and freely talked of brotherhood of man. And families on both sides of the fence can all agree it's their right to be there, and they want their children to be free. But if the rock gets crazy and all the fences land in your backyard, and the look of wonder in your child's face is burned and scarred, and the ceasefire in your belly has erupted into war, and the only peace you'll ever find is settled in that store. Please remember, this kind of madness always ends in pain, and the mighty judgment down the track will catch us all the same. And if you see the fireball descending from above, it's just Isaac and his brother in the fight for Daddy's love. If you look up, see the fireball racing across the sky, go ask Isaac and his brother Ishmael, tell you why.
I think he used 4 entire chords on that one.
Don't be a hater, bitch.
I love Jordan Page, man, but I love Jordan Page himself. Super nice guy.
But go ahead.
His music is like you could take 5 guitar lessons and play every single one of his songs.
Okay, well, fine. I still can't blame him.
Well, that's because you only took 1 guitar lesson.
Actually, I've taken 4 or 5. I just took only 1 from you.
Yeah, if you didn't
I'm not dedicated enough to stick with it long enough.
Yeah.
No, okay, I get it. That's not your genre. I get it. But it's not just the 4 or 5 chords that were played. It's kind of like a history lesson.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I'm down with that. But to me, Jordan Page is like the contemporary Christian music of the Liberty Movement. It's like the way people, like churchy Christian people, look at, you know, the contemporary Christian music. They go, well, yeah, the message is great. Yeah, but it's G, C, D, and E minor.
But he gets a lot of shit from a lot of so-called Christians because, maybe not because of the actual chords he used, but the lyrics he uses.
Well, sure, yeah. Of course, they're going to argue about the lyrics, but they're doing nothing with the music. Well, listen, agree. I'm not trying to trash on Jordan Page. He's fantastic. Love it. I love Jordan Page. I'll give him a hug. I had a great time hanging out with him. It's just, I think there are probably people listening that have taken 5 guitar lessons and know what I'm talking about.
Okay, you fucking Page hater.
I don't mean it that way.
I know you don't. I know you don't. You're
Oh, great. Now we've got an unknown. There's probably Jordan Page calling in.
I hope he tears your ass up.
Unknown number. You're live with the Caleb Leverett Show.
What's up, fellas?
What's up? Oh, is this Trip?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on,
Hi,
Trip?
Trip.
What's going on tonight, guys? Nice to hear you back on.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Together.
Man. It was tough.
2 become 1.
Exactly. It just feels natural to have my penis in Caleb's ear again.
It does. I feel so at home. I feel so at home again.
Mm-hmm.
What? Yeah, I was about to say that's just ask Caleb how natural that feels to him. But
so what's on your mind tonight, Trip? How are things?
oh no, I'm just researching for tomorrow's show and stuff. But I've been listening to you guys and the. I talked with when I talked with Adam from Rebel Inc. and we actually got into talking about Jordan and Tatiana and those genres of music. Is that it's like the message, I think we can all agree is great on all sides, and all of those the way your show hits some people might not hit some people the same way as my show. You know what I mean? So, we all have these different things that we have, and the message is still there. But like I said, Rebel Inc. will get me far beyond driven more than Jordan or Tatiana would any day of the week. Not to take anything away from those guys, but that's just the way it is.
Oh, good. So I don't have to feel so alone then in thinking this. I love Jordan.
I didn't want you to feel alone. And I agree with you, Trev. I heard Rebel Inc. at Paul Festival. Holy crap, those guys are really intense. I mean, it was deafening.
And that's just my stuff. That's what I like to listen to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really hate listening to music at all anymore. My first career was as a musician, and after a while,
he's a tortured artist, Trip.
Ben got into it for the pussy. Don't fucking lie to me.
Why does any lonely 14-year-old boy suddenly pick up a guitar and go, maybe this'll work? Because my check yes or no notes aren't working anymore.
I don't want to rule the world. You know what I mean? I picked up a guitar and wanted to rule the world. It wasn't really like a chick type thing. It developed into that later, but it's to each his own, my friends.
Yeah. Well, no, I picked it up at 12 because I found I was always playing music. I don't even remember learning how to read music. I was probably 4 when I was shoved into piano lessons, and I hated it, but I love it now. I mean, I'm glad that they did that my folks did literally kicking and screaming sometimes. So, yeah, and I've just played a lot of instruments my whole life, and yeah, I don't know. I like the guitar. The guitar was the one that I picked up myself and self-taught, and I still do it all the time. I mean, I play all the time. I play several times a week at a little bistro here in town at lunch.
I didn't plug them.
Dee's Bistro. It's downtown. It's the old Presidential Museum downtown on, I think it's 7th and something. Yeah. So,
Catty corner from First Baptist Church.
Exactly.
No doubt.
Exactly. So, and then when I went to college for music. I went to Belmont University in Nashville, and the whole idea was, to become a rock star. In fact, I just found, can I play a song from those days?
I don't care. It's your damn show.
No, that's right. I'm hosting. So this
man. Go for it.
This is my old college band.
Okay, I'm going to get ready. He just kind of...
If it sounds like Dave Matthews, I'm cutting out.
It will not sound like Dave Matthews.
Trip, hold on.
All right.
I want to visit with you about some other things.
Sure.
Any lights?
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, that's me singing. Yeah.
Oh shit!
If you're standing in the way of a goddamn mighty sound, you need to know. When the fist of a life come crashing down on you, don't you run with me, more. You know I get my bad boy when I get my head long, and instead of telling myself,
Though the man might say what he may, hidden agendas and signs take our freedom away. Throwing off my chains, I'm free. Fuck you with the public safety announcement.
That's great.
We do our scales.
Are you playing guitar in anything?
No, I'm backup guitar. I'm this one.
So yes, you are playing
Yeah.
guitar.
But not lead. That's our little outro. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I don't know. You started.
Nice,
I started
man.
talking about what I was doing. So that was when I was 18. I think we were doing that.
You were
song.
still asleep status, and that's some pretty hardcore.
I'm telling you, I've been a libertarian my whole life. I just didn't know the word for it.
Okay.
Right.
You know, I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. So
you were 18.
Well, that
yeah, I was 18 when we did that. So that was 12 years ago. Wonderful. So, anyways, yeah, that's what we did have access to was like awesome recording studios. We were on Music Row in Nashville, so we were able to benefit from that. And yes,
yeah, I never had any of that. I was playing like small clubs about the size of the garage I'm sitting in right now. So
we did a lot of that too. But
with a house PA that was falling apart, you know.
we played at Dos Amigos here in Odessa one time before we had even bought a PA. And we had to go up in the attic of Dos Amigos and piece together just some random speakers that they had up there. So we had some of those gigs as well. The coolest place we ever played, I think, still was Athens, Georgia. When we got to Athens,
Hey, that's my hometown. Or well, I mean, right up the road. I mean, I'm from Stone Mountain originally.
Are you really?
That's the other thing. Yeah, that was the other thing that I was going to get into. I mean, with you guys, at least with that music, is like, you know, I think I don't know how much of your personal listening audience is coming out of, you know, this southern region that we grew up in on a healthy dose of southern classic rock and Stevie Ray Vaughan and all their homies. Right. You know what I mean? But like when I was a kid, we had, you know, the Black Crowes.
I love the
Georgia
Black. They are
Satellite.
still, if
you know,
you've never seen the Black Crowes live, go see the Black Crowes live. They put on an amazing. I've seen them probably a half dozen times, and just love them.
Like, and like a lesser known band like Driving and Crying. They were big too. But like Jackal and Seven Dust came out when I was a kid, and
Seven Dust is from Dallas.
Man,
so
they're from Atlanta, man.
Are they? I thought they were from Dallas.
Yeah.
But you just got owned.
They were fantastic. I went to one Seven Dust show, and that was back in the mosh days. You'd go moshing when you go to these shows.
Oh, yeah.
Never did mosh.
Seven Dust
I was
fans
scared to mosh.
Seven Dust fans would not mosh. They would get into figure eights, and they would just walk around like infinity signs in the crowd. Like in a, it was awesome.
Cool.
It was, they are from Atlanta. You're right. I looked them up on the old wiki, on the wiki pages. But yeah,
they actually went to a high school that my grandmother taught at, or she was the disciplinary assistant principal or some such shit there.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I learned some fun trivia today. One of my professors, who's I think my age, at the school I go to, was delivered by Dr. Ron Paul. He grew up in that district. He was delivered by Ron Paul, and his mother was Rand Paul's 8th grade government teacher. Now, I thought that was fun. And she's extremely liberal, apparently. So
ironically enough.
Right. So, yeah, I spent a lot of years really interested in music, and just the last several years, I listen to talk radio. I don't even deal with music anymore. I got into dubstep. I got into dubstep for a minute and a half, and then that got a little old.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
It was just so different. I would just.
What is dubstep?
Dubstep is. I played some dubstep for you.
I don't even know what the hell that means, dude.
Well,
band?
No. It's a style of music where they use cut time. All right, that's the big thing is they're using cut time. Boom. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on in the kick drum, so it's filled up with the bass, and that's why the wobble. And so there's a lot of whoa, 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 whoa. A lot of that stuff. It's all. I got into it for a solid, 5 months, maybe 6 months, just because it was so contrary to everything else. And I'm done with that too. I'm done. I'm just
one of those guys.
Music hate.
I'm just one of those guys that thinks that like nothing really great has been written after like the late 90s, and like when I do hear a band that I like nowadays, I'm really blown away because it's in a time where music has just been failing for so long.
Hey, Trip, are you a Jim Croce fan?
Not really. No, I mean, I know of him. I'm not a real big, I like some of that stuff, that same style, but not too much.
One of his songs.
I'm like a James Taylor guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which I saw him perform just a couple weeks ago at the inauguration.
Yeah?
At the inauguration, yeah. He sang at the inauguration. Yeah.
I've never been a big James Taylor fan, but I was going to say Jim Croce. One of his songs was actually featured
in Django.
That's
right.
I was kind of impressed.
Yeah, Caleb went on a Jim Croce jag about last week?
Week ago, yeah.
You just went on a Jim Croce-thon.
Just a little info on that. I had never heard of Jim Croce until I married my first wife, and she introduced me to Jim Croce. And if I could put time in a bottle, I'd throw that bottle clear across the ocean.
He can. If you like James Taylor and you don't like Jim Croce,
no, I didn't say I don't like Jim. I like some.
No, but
of
that's
James.
what
I'm just
Trip's
not
saying.
Oh, okay.
To me, they're similar. I mean, that's the style of guitar I play now. It's acoustic, and I'm using all of my fingers.
I like you don't pull on Superman.
Well, and that's the other thing. I think I'm just jealous because I'm not a finger picking type of guy. I'm just not good with that kind of stuff. I've always sang and done rhythm guitar and. Done a bit of drums from time to time, but I'm probably just jealous.
I'm going to piss both of you off. I'm still a big Kid Rock fan.
Well, you can be a Kid Rock fan. I'm okay with that. He had a midget at one point. That's kind of fun.
Oh, Joe C.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, Joe C. 3'9" with a 10-foot dick. Or
they had some great moments, man.
I'm going platinum.
Exactly. What was the one? Cowboy. I liked that song. I thought that was good stuff.
Yeah, I like that song before I even knew who he
Well,
was.
okay, here's your music trivia for you guys. In 1992, when he was still rocking turntables and stuff up in Michigan, and he had an album called Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast. Great album.
I own it. It was hard to find.
Yeah?
I found it in all places. They had one copy left at Best Buy. I bought it on my trip back from Liberty Fest 3 from New York City. I think I was in Tennessee, maybe. I don't remember exactly which state I was in. They had one in the store. And, yeah, so I own it. But anyway, grit sandwiches for breakfast. Go ahead.
Oh, that was just it. That was really like, you know, the getting on Front Street and all that stuff, you know, was just, and it got played out and, you know, ripping off of, I mean, the guy is the son of a well-established car dealership owner in Romeo, Michigan. So that whole pseudo coming out the trailer and all of that stuff, and like I never had a dime, and
right,
you know, rugged life, it's just all a facet, you know.
Well, but he actually sings about his dad. He calls his dad a dick in one of his songs. Never wanted to sell cars because my dad was a dick. It's called "You Never Met a Motherfucker Quite Like Me."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying he doesn't, you know, play himself off to be something he's not.
well,
I'm not saying that at all.
It's a character. I mean,
he plays a character.
That's what I learned in the music industry, especially in Nashville in particular, is everything's a character. You never hear anything, we, just as normal human beings, never hear anything about those people that we weren't meant to hear. Everything is
all
PR.
planned.
It's all, exactly. It's all a character. So, like when Britney Spears was crazy a few years back.
Shaving her head?
Yeah.
I beat her to that. I shaved my head like three or 4 weeks before she shaved her head.
I was born without hair, so there you go. I think I was probably extremely hairy when I was born. Can't imagine. Anyways, I think all that was planned. I mean, that stuff doesn't... it's all planned. There's none of that's real.
Yeah, I'm just not that guy, you know what I mean? Like, I like when you can feel the sincerity and the realness in the music, you know. That's just me.
I'll admit I believed the Kid Rock. No, I listened to his shit from start to finish. Grit Sandwiches for Breakfast, the Polyfuse Method, and then his breakthrough album Devil Without a Cause. Kid Rock,
right?
His self-titled album. I mean, I've got them all. I own all of them. Well, I'll take that back. There's one. I think there's one I don't. But I actually, I fell for it. I believed it, but I still enjoy it. You know, once he endorsed Mitt Romney, it just kind of blew holes. I actually made a video about it.
Well, you know, then you're on the boat with Toby Keith and the rest of the mainline, you know, garbage that's out there. You know what I mean? Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely know what you mean. Like I said, I'm always going to be a big fan. It played an integral part of whenever my kid's mother and I divorced. That's pretty much when I became a big Kid Rock fan. We played lots of music. We had some really good times listening to it. My kids still love Kid Rock, and I've explained that, you know, yeah, he's a statist, and Daddy's actually woken up, and you know, they listen to, you know, they don't quite catch on to it. But like I said, I made a video about him, his endorsement of Mitt Romney. And I just pointed out, I believe all Mitt Romney supporters, all conservative
should
people
listen to Kid Rock.
Should listen to Kid Rock. And in particular, let me point out a few of his lyrics.
Chop the line from here to Texas.
Chop a line from here to Texas. You never met a motherfucker.
Not talking about broccoli.
Exactly. And
although he might be talking about broccoli, are we giving him a bad rap when we thought he was saying meaning cocaine, but really he was just talking about broccoli?
No, he's plugged cocaine in
his nose
years.
Plug it in your nose, man.
He sniffed cocaine on one of his songs, and I'm kind of on the spot, and I can't think. I know the song, and I could pull it up if I had to, but He's talking about he's got a garden hose made of 24 karat. Bought a couple carrots to like the squawk.
Mm-hmm.
They sound like you and all the shit you talk. You know, he's promoting being a kind of a rebel, and yet he endorsed a statist ass sumbitch like Mitt Romney.
Well,
So I encouraged all of the Bible thumping Baptist Protestant types to, go listen to some Kid Rock lyrics. I encourage everyone.
That's something that bothers me even more than just going along with the statist behavior is when you sell your soul for money, and you can do that whether you're a statist or not. You understand what I mean? Like that's like the ultimate sign for me. You know, politicians come along and people get swindled and tricked, and inspirational people come along and people get swindled and tricked. But when you sell your integrity for more money, especially somebody that's already well established, like, you don't got enough money, you fucking whore, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's how they get there to begin with. I mean, you don't make it in that industry without either having some knee pads yourself, or your wife or your mom has some knee pads, or and you're willing to choke. I think that's what they do. You're willing to swallow. You're willing to drown a baby in a bucket to make $6. I mean, that's what they do. Right. We got pulled up into a record executive's office at one point, and he was just this really, hello, welcome. And he had strawberries in like a crystal goblet. And he was like, "Would you like some fucking strawberries?" Yeah. We were like, "Get me the hell out of here, man!"
Now here's a funny story. Kurt Cobain tells us in an interview when they were first getting signed that they went to all these different places to find out who was right for them in all these places. They said they went to a place in Texas, and they said, in that song, Polly, are you beating that bitch? You know, like dealing with those type of people, and then going to L.A. and be like, "Hey guys, we got tickets to the Lakers game," you know, and he's like, "This is not what we're about, man. You have no idea what you're doing, these record company people, you know."
Okay, well, speaking of Kurt Cobain, was he not the real deal? Did he sell out?
He was totally the real deal.
How did he make it then? You said
very unwillingly.
Ben, you were the one that just got through saying we hear nothing that is not planned, and yet you're saying, well, Kurt Cobain was the real deal. Exception that proves the rule. Okay, so he is an exception. So you're saying there are a few exceptions?
Well, yeah, of course, but he was so.
There is another point of that, which is, what he did that was so beautiful and artistic was things like wearing a T-shirt that said "Corporate Rock Magazine Still Suck" on the cover of Rolling Stone, and really being very vindictive about any sort of success. I mean, that's cool to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And still being the outcast within a massive scale.
But the thing was, he was so haunted by his success that he shot himself. Like that was how bad it was to him.
Did he shoot himself? I mean, with all this late stuff coming out about
Courtney Love maybe killed him.
No. What's the latest guy who's 26-year-old guy got murdered? The guy that y'all know what I'm talking about. I can't think of his name.
26-year-old guy got murdered.
He was a 14-year-old genius that invented.
Oh yeah, the guy who
Adam.
I almost said Lanza, but that's the so-called.
He invented Reddit, didn't he?
Yeah, Reddit. The Reddit guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Adam.
Reddit.
Adam Schwartz.
Yeah.
Now, is there a possibility that Kurt Cobain got Adam Schwartzed? Because he made it and he wasn't supposed to make it. And it was, even though a lot of people liked his grunge. I mean, I liked the stuff. That was shit. I was in.
Yeah, I mean that was my heyday. So.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, absolutely.
I just wondered.
It's certainly possible, and there have been many documentaries you can look at on Netflix, and I think even Hulu has some that discuss that very idea, and they have some compelling evidence. But who knows? I don't know. I don't know. So I do know that music is not able to evolve as quickly as it once was because the record companies only want to release hits. They're not going to let you take risks. They actually have matrices that they type that they put your song into a computer, and they have little clusters that show up. And if your song
like a compatibility chart.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And if your song shows up in a cluster, they go, okay, we'll release that one.
You know, that almost makes me want to fucking hate capitalism. That just pisses me off.
Well, capitalism and art.
But that's a rigged system, just like anything else, man. You could have people that are independent bands, and I mean, you know, we had a strong growing of indie record labels and do-it-yourself bands that grew out of the internet age.
Yes, sir.
And you know, the corporate machine will still push on regardless.
That's right. And I think that was a kind of a golden era of music too. Somewhere between 98 and 2003, somewhere around there. And that indie charge that happened right through there. I thought that was, you got Muse out of there. You got Modest Mouse came out of there. I was more of a new metal guy, and there's just a lot of bands that fell off after that heyday kind of wore down 02, 03, but there's a lot of bands that I still have their CDs and stuff that just never made a second album, you know? Well, right. I'm a Fish head myself. I was into the hippie music.
I hate Fish.
Oh, God. Widespread Panic and all their homies.
I hate Widespread Panic, but I love Fish. Widespread Panic had that one guitarist.
Ben has been trying for 2 years to play Fish shit for me and get me to like them. I just don't like Fish. I like to eat fish. I don't like to listen to Fish.
Oh, man. Talk about feeling the music, though. There is that.
I can't understand what the fuck they're saying.
Well, you don't
everything sounds like, here, I'm going to put my fingers over the mic. What? I don't understand. I have not understood one word they've said ever. I just don't get their music. I'm not slamming them. I'm sure they've got artistic abilities. Apparently, they've got a huge following. I'm just not a fan. It's just not my thing. You know, kind of like you saying, you know, Jordan's music. He's a great guy. Intellectually, you know, just solid as a rock, but it's just not your music, and that's cool. I appreciate your honesty, but I'm just not a Fish fan.
Yeah, Fish head,
fish head, fish ass, fish tail.
Yeah, I do. Fish really does it for me. And
well, hey, Caleb, I don't want to hold y'all up forever, but
you're not holding this up.
Before Ben played his song, you said there's some other stuff you want to get into?
I do. I would like to talk about this 420 event that's going to be happening on April 20th in New York City.
Hey, if I got to send you a ticket, I am, okay?
Sir?
I said if I got to send you a plane ticket, I am, okay?
Well,
what's the deal?
Some things have happened recently and have changed some things, and I'm taking a lot of shit from this.
You keep saying that like it's cryptic, but everyone knows exactly what happened.
Not everyone, apparently.
Well, you talked about it on the show. You're moving to Austin. You're moving away from here.
I'm moving to Austin. I committed career suicide on New Year's Day by posting a video that I took on a drilling rig that I have a moral objection to. I've invested over, I'd say about $2,500 in someone else's event, which I'm cool with. And now that I don't have the career that I've got, or that I used to have, I am moving to Austin to be around more like-minded people. And it seems like I'm getting kind of railroaded for abandoning people, and it's just kind of irritating. And, I mean, I'm glad you're going, and I'm still going to be plugging for the 420 event. Ian Chaffee, I mean, I only met him once. I met him at Liberty Fest 3. He was one of the main guys, and I admire the guy. And I'll plug for his stuff because he's solid. But the reason I'm not going is simply because of, if I do go, I risk some things in my personal life, not being able to see my kids or pay the state mandated child support, and I'm just faced with some challenges there, and I'm just kind of I'm glad, and what I'm getting at, and I'll just fuck. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. There was a post that you, Trip, were a part of on on Facebook, and Tracy Diaz called me out and said that I abandoned them, and it just kind of hurt my feelings. And I think it's bullshit that she would say something like that about me.
I didn't take it.
Well, you know how that goes. I mean, you got to kind of hear it in context as well. Like, I mean, you know, it didn't seem too vindictive or anything, but you know, I can understand how you felt reading that. But you know, I don't really think how I read it is a little bit different. You know, I don't think that it was
Ben
quite a tab. You know?
Yeah, I just thought she was teasing him. I mean, I didn't take it as
right.
I just thought she was teasing him. But I can understand, you know, especially if it's something. And Caleb feels really bad about this, so he's probably a little bit
horrible about it.
He's probably extra sensitive about the subject too. So that's
right.
I think that's probably where it all stems from. But
well, maybe I did take it the wrong way. I'm guilty of that, but it rubbed me the wrong way. I felt kind of backhanded.
Yeah. Well,
and I've said many times since then, I'm not saying I won't go if things do come up. I suppose there's a way I could go, but I just don't.
Well, like I said, we got 2.5 months to try to get this together, and I'm putting that out to the listening audience. And whatever you want to do, and whoever can help out, I'll try to do my best as well. I really want you up there, man.
Well, I would love to be there. I really would. There's some of the best people in the world, or at least the most outspoken best people in the world, that are going to be there. And I'm still plugging for the event. I mean, you know, there is still a 420 Anarchy in the NYC broadcast, a chip-in at libertymovementradio.com. Of course, obviously, it hasn't come off of zero just yet. When we went down to raise money for Antonio Beeler to be there, who's going to be there, as is John Bush of Austin, Texas, we raised enough money to fund their ticket and, you know, just fund them to get there. And I'm glad of that. I don't regret any of it. I had a wonderful time, but how do I put this? That sound like a whiny bitch. The Liberty movement is alive and well. I get that. It's not catching on in the mainstream. And I'm not trying to shoot myself in the foot because I'm part of the Liberty movement. It's just not catching on. And I've simply came to that point where, okay, I've got to stop here because I've got, you know, bills to pay. I've got child support to pay. I've got children to take care of. I've got to eat myself. I've got things that I've got to do. And I could probably pull it off and be just fine and go ahead, and I'd be fine, but I'm just trying to be rational. I'm trying to be. I've got to preserve. I have dependents. I've got 4 children who are dependent on me being there to pick them up every single time and not be late. And no matter what it takes, I've got to be there for them. And I just, as much as I would love to be at the 420 event, it's just not going to happen given the current circumstances if the fundraising doesn't come in. And that's just where I'm at.
I understand. And, you know, I understand all of that. But, you know, like I said, we got 2.5 months to try to put it together and do the best that we can to make that happen. And, I'm letting you know that I'm going to do everything that I can to make that a possibility for you.
Well, we sure appreciate that.
You
Trip.
are a good man, Trip. And don't you dare, Trip, out of your own pocket. Don't you dare buy my damn plane ticket. If you are able to rally the troops and to get people inspired on your radio show and you know, the chip-in starts going up, great. If you're able to do that, my God, you are the man. Of course, you're the man anyways. But don't you dare reach into your pockets and buy me a plane ticket there.
If my money situation's right, I'll do it. You know I will. So.
Well, Trip, tell us when your show is.
Wednesday and Sunday nights, 9 to 11. You know, using this new system, and I'm really amped about it. Got some better equipment in, and it's been fun, and it's moving forward.
We used butt for about 20 minutes yesterday, and the first 15 minutes were...
I heard.
Yeah, and then
it was great.
It suddenly took a dump all over the place. I don't know what happened.
Well, I've got a separate issue going on right now. Now, I for some reason I got to get my internet provider out here before the weekend, and probably won't be fixed by tomorrow. But my internet wants to hook up to everybody else's internet except for mine. Like it'll just cut off in the middle of nothing and try to contact the neighbors. You know.
Oh man. Wonderful technology we have here on Liberty Movement Radio. We're working on it. It's getting better. And as far as content goes, you're not going to get a better Liberty site, I don't think, than this radio station.
I don't think so.
Across the board. And we tend to call one another's radio shows sometimes. We take calls from listeners. There's typically an active presence going on in the chat rooms. And it really is great. A great thing that these guys have been able to put together at Liberty Movement Radio, and it's growing by leaps and bounds. I mean, we started 4 months ago.
It's been that long.
I think about 4 months, and just the changes that we've seen happen have been magnificent. So just imagine where these guys are going to be in a year. They're probably going to be selling out to a News Corp or something by that time for millions of dollars.
Yeah, right. Hopefully. Hey, man, I'd like to take a piece of that.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Then we'll be taking our cues from Rush Limbaugh.
Jeez.
Excuse me.
Let me get my old music industry knee pads out, actually.
I believe in our programmers' integrity. So
yeah, I do too. I mean, who else would let us get on here and just talk shit as much as we do? So I think
that was the other thing I was wanting to touch on was that, you know, you listen to a lot of some of these other shows and stuff, and not to take anything away from their content, but it is quite watered down compared to what we do here. And I'm very thankful for what we have here. It's really fun and great, you know?
It is. We've never been censored for any sort of reason. Never even been like, hey, guys, maybe you should tone it down when you're... Never once come up.
Not one time.
And
I love that part.
Yeah, I really appreciate the freedom we have.
We're actually, I would say, self-censored. If there's something I don't want to say, I just simply choose not to say it.
Right. Which... Yeah, I don't know. Do either one of us do that very often? I don't know.
I've always had one rule on my own show. Actually, two. The first one being the most important one is you can't threaten anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, you know, me or Ben, of course, neither one of us are threatening people. But if there's ever callers or whatever, you just can't threaten anybody. And the other one is you've got to be interesting, entertaining, fun.
Right.
You just don't be boring. Other than that, I don't really have any rules. Say whatever the fuck you want. Say whatever the hell you want. Say whatever the shit you want. Say whatever the damn you want.
We're going to go ahead and take another break here at the top of the hour. It is 2 minutes till the hour. So we want to thank Tripp for coming on. His show is
thanks, guys.
Sunday nights. Yeah, thanks. Call back anytime, Tripp. We really appreciate it. So Proctor, if you're ready, we're gonna sign off for about 2 minutes. We'll be back on in just a couple of minutes. He's ready. He's gonna play more Jordan Page. Great, fantastic. All right. You listen to the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com.
Come, you masters of war, you that build all the gods, you that build the death planes, you that build all the bombs, you that hide behind walls, you that hide behind desks. I just want you to know I can see through your mask. You that never done nothing but built to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in his hand and you hide from his eyes. you turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly. Like Judas of old, you lie and deceive. A world war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down my drain. You fasten all the triggers for the others to fire. Then you sit back and watch when the death count gets higher. You hide in your mansion as young people's blood flows out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. You've thrown the worst fear that can never be heard. Fear to bring children into the world. For threatening my baby, unborn and unnamed. You ain't worth the blood that runs in your veins. How much do I know to talk out of turn? You might say that I'm young, you might say I'm unlearned, but there's one thing I know, though I'm younger than you, that even Jesus would never forgive what you do. Let me ask you one question. Is your money that good? Will it buy you forgiveness? Do you think that it could? And I think you will find when your death takes its toll, all the money you made will never buy back your soul. And I hope that you die, and your death will come soon. I will follow your casket on a pale afternoon, and I'll watch while you're lowered down into your deathbed, and I'll stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead. We just wanna be free. We don't want this police state. We just want love and liberty.
Hey, this is Tatiana Moroz, and you're listening to LibertyMovementRadio.com.
Tweet up or make a YouTube video. Speak your mind with education. The knowledge will start to grow. So make a YouTube video.
And I think, in theory, we are back on the Caleb Leverett Show on LibertyMovementRadio.com. What are you doing? Hang on. That was actually Tatiana Moroz doing Bob Dylan's classic Masters of War, one of the most powerful anti-war anthems ever written. I actually heard the Roots perform that song at Bonnaroo one year, I don't know, 07 or something. And they did it to the tune of the Star Spangled Banner. And it was powerful. It was really amazing. Bob Dylan. I always tend to like it when people cover Bob Dylan songs more than when Bob Dylan does Bob Dylan songs. I've seen Bob Dylan live. I've seen him live twice. At least twice, maybe 3 times. And about 20 minutes into the show, I keep hoping, I hope he dies right now, because then I'll be at that show. And that would be awesome to be at the show where Bob Dylan dies on stage.
That is horrible, Ben.
Well, I'm not gonna. It's not horrible. You've never heard him live. You would hope he died too. I love Bob Dylan. Don't get me wrong, but what a great story would I have if I'm at the show where Bob Dylan dies on stage?
Yeah, okay. And knowing Bob Dylan, I don't really know his music that well. He'd probably appreciate that comment.
I think so.
But yeah, that was Tatiana Moroz, and actually, I have that CD. She mailed it to me. I bought it. She actually signed it for me. I was really grateful for it, and I'm a big fan of hers. Yeah. I actually, I'm just revealing all my secrets now. I did not realize that was a Bob Dylan song. When I first heard it, I thought, "Holy shit, who is this woman?" I thought that was an original. So, but that just goes to show how shallow I am.
Well, no. Why would you know Bob? Why would you know about Bob Dylan?
Well, she made a little plug for me, and I'm honored to know her. Consider her a friend. And
This is Tatiana Moroz, and you are listening to the Caleb Leverett Show on Liberty Movement Radio.
there is my little plug. I'm so proud of that.
She has a pretty woman voice.
Damn right.
I wish she would call in and read the sexy Bible verses. That's the voice.
Yeah,
that's
Cantwell.
Screw Cantwell. We want Tatiana to call in with the sexy Bible verses. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I'm going to play that again.
This is Tatiana Moroz, and you are listening to the Caleb Leverett Show on Liberty Movement Radio.
Oh, my God.
Word to your mother. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's a good voice. Good sexy woman voice. I got something from Patrice O'Neill here. Yeah, we chimed in last night with a little Patrice. Here's a little 2-minute Patrice bit. Go.
But I'm just saying it's a human thing. See, I believe, look, any idea is the shit. I love all ideas. But the thing that fucks ideas up is people. We just can't do the right thing. We fucked up. That's why, look, I like Obama as a person. But the idea of the president is just ridiculous. It's a bullshit idea. The president is a tradition now, like a turkey. He don't run shit. Obama, look, man, Obama's purpose, if you believe in this kind of shit, his purpose was to make us all stop hating Bush. Remember how we loved each other that first couple of days with just white people and black people? Some motherfucker singing a black-white together song. We are black, we are white. Together we do right. To say, shut the fuck up, nigga. Winderism is, shut the fuck. If you was a boss, right? The first thing as a boss, if the president's a boss, why does everybody live in the White House? Why can't a boss go, I don't want to live in this shitty ass, I want to live in the condo I got up in Chicago, nigga. All you Secret Service motherfuckers stand outside my motherfucking apartment, nigga. Stand on the balcony in case niggas fire a missile up in this bitch and die like you're supposed to. I don't want to live up in this motherfucking house with all these dead crackers looking at me every day. I don't give a fuck. Ain't no bosses. It's just to make us think that we have a leader. But niggas, man, the banks run this shit.
The banks run this shit. Patrice O'Neill, man, he's hitting on the right chords. Too bad he died. He was talking too much truth. Suddenly he had a stroke, had an aneurysm or something. Well, I was hoping we were going to get old Libertarian Ann to call in this evening.
Did you message her?
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. She signed on to call in last night, but she was signed on during the first hour. We don't take calls during the first hour.
Well, that and we had some butt issues.
Yeah. We took it up the butt last night.
Up the butt issues.
Someday we're going to get all this sorted.
Proctors are like Oh, just shut up.
I know.
Shut up, Ben. Quit slamming.
Oh, but I mean, it sounded good though. I thought it sounded good for like a bit.
Well, it always sounds good whenever you're on the mixer. It sounds good to us.
Yeah, everything sounds good
Even
to us.
dead air to the audience sounds good to us because we hear it just fine. But
yeah, it sounds good.
But
on this side.
What
in the butt?
What? No, I'm singing the
Macklemore.
Love that song.
That song blew up. I thought we were the only people who knew about that song.
Yeah,
No.
I played that song for my kids this weekend.
Oh, did you?
Damn right. No, was it this weekend or last weekend? I don't remember. No, I played. I'll take that back. I played it 2 weeks ago when I had them, but I think London missed it, and the brothers were all talking about it. She's like, "What are you talking about?" And I don't remember where she was. She was maybe she was in Nan or something. I don't remember, but yeah. And then we played it for it. Yeah, my kids love it, and they actually talk about it in the halls. They got these headphones, and they're called what are the headphones called? Some badass headphones, and they were playing that as they're walking down the junior high park. My oldest Parker, he's playing it as he's walking down the junior high halls, and they're just like walking in step.
Popping tags. Popping tags.
It was hilarious.
Oh, I don't want to go back outside, man. I do not want to go back outside today.
Actually, what are you talking about, the wind?
God, yes.
Well, it's actually calmed down.
Is it much better now?
Well,
no, I'm leaving to go to Austin tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Yeah. I meant to ask you about that. Why?
Well, I got pulled aside by one of my professors earlier, just earlier this morning, and he pulled me aside. He said, "Come on, I need you to come meet this other doctor up there at the school that I had never met." So I was like, "Okay, well, I'll go meet him." And so I met him. We were chatting, and they started talking about this trip, and they turned around and said, well, the new doctor said, "Are you coming?" And I said, "No, I don't even know what you guys are talking about." So then my professor said, "Well, yeah, you might as well come. We're taking the honors students and the student senate to Austin to meet, our state representatives from both major counties,
Pull out your knee pad.
and some Supreme Court justices from the state." Just people, just more government. I just did the national government people, so they invited me, and I'm not an honor student, nor am I on student senate. So they just up and said, "Come on, we're going to Austin tomorrow. We'll be there till Saturday. You're coming with us." And I said, "All right, cool. Excuse me. Yeah, I said, yeah, let's do that." So that's what I'm doing. So now suddenly I had to do a bunch of laundry, which I still am not unpacked from Washington, D.C. totally, and which is actually kind of helpful. That's helpful. I just reload my suitcases. And yeah, 6 a.m, I'm plowing off to Austin with a bunch of college-age kids. I'll hang out with my professors more than likely.
And go meet a bunch of
state representatives. Yeah, state representatives.
And woo and awe and honor of their presence.
Why would I do that?
Well, I don't know. You're not me.
You would woo and awe in their presence?
No. I'd be the asshole. You're the one that plays the system better than I do.
Well, you can't be an asshole. I mean, you're being invited.
I'm not that. I just really asked some really hard questions, and I'd probably be kicked out on my culo.
Well, the thing is, I'm not there as a representative of Ben Farmer. I'm there as a representative of my university.
Mm-hmm.
My university's paying for it. The university offered it to me. So you
just doing your job, fucker?
Just doing my job. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it's not, it doesn't go against any of my principles to meet people.
I'm giving you a hard time. I'm just giving you a hard time. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the texting while driving ban debate is going on as of today down in Austin.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah. I tagged our good buddy Heather Fazio in a post by one of the local, I don't know if it's CBS 7 or I don't know which one. There apparently some more people who are upset about things, and rightfully so. I mean,
yeah, you should be upset about people texting while driving.
Texting while driving is a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
But putting a law into place doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, going whining to government to pass laws doesn't fix a damn thing.
Government, please solve my problems for me. It's just slave mentality is what that is. It's a slave mentality. Oh, save me, master, from these people who are texting. You know, why don't we just educate folks? We can all come together as a community, educate folks. We can handle that.
Yeah. Okay, I take that back. I say we go to government, say government, state, local, federal, ban bad things.
Let's ban bad things.
Let's call it the Ban Bad Things Act. And I'm going to name it after one of my children. Ban bad things. Ban all bad things, and that will solve all of our problems.
We got a phone call coming in. This is from 817. 817, you're on the air with the Caleb Leverett Show on Liberty Movement Radio.
It's me.
Oh, that sounds like...
Hi, me.
That
It's me
sounds
too.
like Brooke.
Hey.
It's Libertarian Ann.
Yeah. I just called in. I haven't heard. I was going to listen to y'all for a while first, but I have no idea what you were talking about.
Neither do we. Neither do we.
We've talked music. We've talked racism. We've talked
Holocaust Museum, Holocaust itself.
Oh, I love it.
Fisting. We were just about to get into fisting, so I'm glad you called.
You are not.
Oh, good. That's my favorite subject. I heard Orville Redenbacher. Did y'all talk about him yesterday?
We were saving Orville Redenbacher conversation with you. Because,
okay, we can...
because the old genius man died. And actually, I do kind of have a conversation that ties with this. The old genius
Hey, what's the number to call in if someone wants to listen in? Do I just tell them to go to the website?
Yeah, just tell them to go to the website.
Okay, sorry. Gotcha.
No, that's fine. It is 605-787-1254 if they want to call in.
If they want to call in, but we don't have BTR, so they will immediately be on the show with us.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, Orville Redenbacher, the famous the popcorn guy. We all grew up watching his popcorn commercials, right?
Yep.
Died in his jacuzzi surrounded by young women. That's how the man died. Heart attack in his jacuzzi surrounded by young women. I think...
Were they like his nurses, maybe?
Was that?
Were they his nurses, maybe? Maybe they weren't... were they dressed in bikinis? Or?
Yeah, they were in the hot tub with him.
Oh.
I mean, sure, I'll call them nurses, whatever.
Oh, he was like a grandpa figure.
Yeah.
I guess so well.
Yeah,
grandpas have
urges. He was a pimp.
Yeah, he died. He went out pimp style. So that kind of leads me to my question. How do you want to die? How do you want to die, Caleb?
After my children are grown and know the non-aggression principle, and after that, the state can take me, I guess.
Just throw you in Guantanamo.
All I ask is, I'm being actually kind of serious. Just all I ask, I'm sure the state knows who I am. They're going to get me eventually. I just ask that let me raise my children first. Of course, maybe I'm committing. Maybe I'm not going to be able to do that simply because they know what I'm asking now. But I just want to raise my children to be grown, to think for themselves, and after that, sure, I'd like to die relatively painless death. I don't want to have a something like Gibson movie happen to me. The sword stuck in my gut. I don't want that to happen. But
yeah.
Ann, what about you?
I always think of all the ways I don't want to go, like through drowning or during surgery, being alive during surgery or something. And I kind of always have nightmares about that. I never really thought about how I want to go.
Both of the ones you mentioned are actually, they say, fairly pleasant ways to go. I mean, drowning, once you give in, they say you get a feeling of euphoria.
Horrible.
I don't want to drown. I have nightmares.
Like, I always have the dream where I'm looking up and I'm caught underneath the mat of a pool.
Oh, I do that all the time. Sometimes for me it's bricks, though, above me. It's actually bricks.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like the scariest feeling ever.
Yeah, I hate that.
I think I might want to skydive to my death, maybe.
Really? That's kind of Blaze of Glory style. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You'd be scared for about 2 minutes, and then...
I want to be on drugs, though, while I'm doing it. That's the definite.
Yeah.
I want to be on drugs.
Yeah, which I want to be sitting on my back porch, watching my great-grandchildren play.
Oh, no, then your poor grandchildren have to be like, what happened to Grandpa?
Well, they'll tell everyone he overdosed of heroin, because that's the second part. I want to die of a heroin overdose watching my great-grandchildren born.
That's like, well, my grandmother died from choking on a piece of sausage.
Oh. That's kind of mama.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like a weird story. I don't know if I think it's true. Yeah, it's what Famous says, but it's kind of like, were they implying that she was cheating on my grandpa and choked on a piece of sausage, or what was because we still eat sausage all the time with my Polish side of the family. Kind of weird.
Well, I mean,
that's a weird story. I know. I'm sorry.
Honestly, but
yeah, actually, the farmer family, we all die of the heart attack. We have several, and then we get the one, and it just lights out at that point. That's probably not a terrible way to go. Just the sudden death.
This is really depressing me.
Why? It's depressing.
I have a fear of death.
Well, I have a fear of. I don't have a fear of death. I have a fear of dying, but the death itself will just be like. Do you remember?
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't have a fear of death. It's just the actual moment when it happens, and then
Right, exactly. I mean, that's scary, and
that's why I fear sleeping. I have trouble going to sleep because it reminds me of death. When you're unconscious.
It is, and I could see that. You're afraid you might not wake up.
Mm-hmm. Everything's like a little girl.
Actually, would that not be the most painless way to go?
Sure.
Go to sleep?
Sure, but I'm not done yet,
Well, I'm not done either. I'm only 35.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling I think there comes a point in people's lives when they just kind of say, all right, I'm basically done at this point.
You kind of just know when it's coming to, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't know. But now I smoke weed, and then I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
It keeps me awake. It keeps me awake. So I've never been. I haven't done it in a long time, but
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't do it because it makes me not want to talk to people, and I get real paranoid, and I can't sleep.
Oh, it was great for me to get off my anti-anxiety drugs because I've been on them like almost my whole life. So
which ones?
Now, well, I tried so many different ones just to get to sleep, but I guess Klonopin was the recent one.
Yeah.
And then I've been on all of them, like and so much of my life passed by that I don't remember when I was on what's the one?
Xanax.
The main one that I can't even think of it. Vitacaine? No, not Vitacaine, but whatever. I was just like months of my life passed by. I didn't even realize relationships would be over, and I'd be like, "What happened?" I just woke up, and I felt like nothing. It's like time just flew by.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people report a similar thing.
Ativan, and the other one was Ativan, and the other, not Vitamin. I've taken so many meds. They put me on so many meds. I'm brain dead.
Yeah, that's the Dr. House.
Yeah, but that's an opiate. That's not an anti-anxiety. That's a more.
Yeah, those are. Yeah, I've had them all. Yeah.
Well, were there any fun ones? Did you have fun on any of them?
Yeah, you might.
When when the combination was right with drinking, and maybe with the amphetamines they gave me as a kid.
Yeah,
I've had some good times.
I've got a big beef with the whole fish bowl and then wash it down with some vodka thing. I don't like it. It leads to horrible things. And I think I'll just leave it at that because it'd be getting a little too personal on someone.
And I'm so personal. Yeah, my family's like a pharmaceutical drug, they're just like a drug house kind of basically. Because if anything goes wrong with you, if I say anything, they're like, "Oh, let's get you a drug." And my dad's a dentist, so he's got it's like hydrocodeines around everything. So I just, whenever I was going through when I was younger and depressed or broke up with a boyfriend, I would just pick a pill, and kind of just try it out. It was horrible, I know, but
I do not encourage.
Sorry.
The pills.
No, it wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, well, and I'm obviously not talking to you because that'd be preaching the choir. But I'm talking about maybe listeners who hear it now or hearing it later. These pharmaceutical pills.
That's why I'm so against pharmaceutical drug industries, and especially when they get into kids. It's crazy.
My family is notorious self-prescribers as well.
Yes. Oh.
My granddad was a pharmacist, and he had some pharmacies. We
Like pharmacist in quotes or pharmacist as in
no full on real one,
real one. He got his permission from government to distribute.
But growing up, it was mainly like antibiotics, though. I mean, I can't say.
Oh yeah,
dishing out
antibiotics. We got a ton.
Oh,
That's not good for you.
No, I'm immune. I'm immune to amoxicillins now. You can give me. They don't work anymore.
They don't work.
Yeah, so.
If you were born right around the same time I was, I think it might be that generation parents. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well,
they were really.
Yeah, they were thinking antibiotics worked, and they did.
Yeah,
and they did. But I don't think they fully understood how bacteria works.
Well, my dad was a doctor. He should have. And then the fact that he gave me all this NyQuil, he almost we would get drunk off NyQuil. He would put both his dogs, because he didn't like to really babysit us. He was kind of a young dad, and so he would give us so much NyQuil, we barely would wake up sometimes.
Yeah, that's my babysitting tactic, by the way.
That was his.
Drink your sleepy juice. I don't want it, Uncle.
Remind me to never babysit my children.
Drink your sleepy juice. It's good for you.
No.
It's It's 4 in the afternoon. I'm playing Xbox. They're passed out on the carpet. Everyone's happy.
That is horrible. That is horrible. No, I don't condone that.
Yeah. I'm available for babysitting jobs, by the way, if anybody.
Me too.
Yep.
I will just use the agoristic method. Ben Farmer is not someone you want to babysit your children. I'm going to give him a reputation of being an asshole and pawning it off to drugs. No.
Well, NyQuil.
Anyone that wants me to babysit, though, I'm a great babysitter. I'm certified CPR with everything and child life specialist certification, and I don't have my daughter, so I really like to be around kids.
So you're a little nesty. You're a bit nesty to begin with.
Wow, yeah, I was born nesting.
You were?
I was born ready to pass. I was born and I wanted to have babies right then.
Do you always have puppies and kittens around you? Are you a puppy?
No, because they make me, they remind me of how much better a baby is than a puppy. Like,
why is a baby better than a puppy?
A baby is so much better than a puppy.
How? Puppies are way more awesome.
No, babies are so smart and they can teach you so much, and they're just they're perfect.
They are technically the same IQ until about.
No, they're not.
About 18
we just don't
months.
Teach babies language. They're so
you can
smart.
teach them sign language now. You can teach a gorilla sign language too. It doesn't make a gorilla cooler than a puppy.
I'm going to castrate you live on the air.
Why?
Because
puppies are badass.
They are, but children are badass too. Newborn babies.
Oh no.
Babies remember from the womb what their mother was thinking. I mean, babies are amazing.
Just, I guess this is coming from.
Y'all were just circumcised, so you don't remember much after that.
Unfortunately, I was circumcised, and regretfully, I condoned my 3 sons getting circumcised, of 2 of which witnessed. I was there holding their little hands. That is the most disgusting, primitive, just like ape, just horrible thing you can do to a child, to circumcise them.
Did you hear about what the Jewish guys? Or I posted a video of this Jewish guy talking about why circumcision was good, and about that they were sucking the blood out of the penis, and they were saying how it was necessary to do.
Yeah, that's part of the bris process. Is that the rabbi actually sucks?
I didn't know that.
Too. Yeah, I mean it's just a tradition. It's weird to us because we think of it in a sexual manner, but the baby doesn't care. Baby doesn't know about sex.
The baby cares. When the baby's screaming, that's an act of non-consent.
The baby does not think of it in a sexual manner.
No, it's not a sexual manner.
That's what I said.
I have held their hands while they went through it, and I was the dumbass cocksucker who believed in this bullshit and watched them go through the goddamn pain. It's a horrible, sadistic, disgusting thing to do to a child against their will.
Why are you yelling? Nobody is arguing.
Because he's passionate.
Y'all started yelling at me when I pointed out that the baby doesn't think of it in a sexual manner, and suddenly I'm in trouble.
Well,
that's not controversial.
Oh, you're saying it. Oh, I'm saying that the baby is hurt by it, and who knows if they think about it in a sexual manner. They might. I mean, we can't say that we know what they're really thinking. I just know they don't like it.
It's their dicks getting chopped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
they're as long as they're screaming, I think that's a sign that they don't consent. You know.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Point well taken. Libertarian end. Thank you. I'm being serious. If they're screaming and they're having to be strapped down with arms and the legs strapped down, and the shot doesn't go into the head, it goes into the base of the penis, and they've got this contraption that is sterilized, and it's a metal thing, and they clamp down on it, and they start screaming, and then the doctor takes the scalpel and cuts the foreskin off, and we're just supposed to be okay with it because Moses did it to his kids with a fucking stone.
That's like my mission in life, kind of, is to stop that. But
I had a girl one time while we were having sex. She reached back and started squeezing my balls until I screamed. And
we've heard this before.
I thought guys like that.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I might be a little extra. I don't want my balls tampered with basically at all. And I think I might be in the minority.
Really?
Yeah,
You're kidding me.
No, I really just don't want to be jacked with at all, basically.
Okay,
that is really unique.
You start saying this is non-sexual, and then you turn this into a sexual conversation.
I'm really
not a baby.
interesting, though. Wow, Ben.
Okay, can I strap you down and recircumcise you?
No.
Why?
That would be a violation of the non-aggression principle.
It would.
So are you in agreement that circumcising?
Of course.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we see that.
I've been saying for 10 minutes, nobody is arguing here. I don't know why.
Well, sorry.
You all sound like Chris Cantwell. When he called in my show, he was arguing for against nobody. Everyone agreed with him.
Yeah, I don't know. Caleb's been kind of on edge today, too. He saw a comment in a Facebook post that really hurt his feelings.
No, that's not it. It's a 200-pound radiator that fell on my dog.
That's what it was.
Because the wind got me into the fucking wind hurt my dog, and I don't like when my dog gets hurt. And
he seems okay.
He seems fine.
So dogs and babies are close. You know, they are both cute. And
oh yeah, I love to see puppies.
I do.
I love dogs. Dogs are good people, man.
Except when they have worms, you know, when you first get them. Well,
sometimes that happens, but you can go. You know, that doesn't take long to get rid of.
Yeah, just
I had a dog for just the time it had worms.
You had a dog that had worms?
I had a dog just at the time it had worms, and then we got rid of it, or we gave it back away. It was right after the adoption too of my daughter, and so it's kind of like I had to give the dog away again. I was like, it was really sad.
Double heartbreak.
I know, double heartbreak. But he just pooped all over my apartment, my brand new apartment. That's all.
Oh, well, they do that too sometimes.
They have worms, especially.
Yeah, and then you have to put bleach on it too if they have worms, because you could get the worms if you step on it. They come up through your feet.
Oh gosh, yeah, I guess you're right. I didn't know that, but my sister took care of some of that for me.
You can see sometimes Libertarian Ann dragging her butt across the rug.
Yeah, that's why actually I didn't go to Austin with you, Caleb. I had a little problem.
Yeah, you had a worm issue.
Dragging her butt across the... Okay.
I'll actually be in Austin for the next few days. Oh, you're in Dallas, so that's right. Or the Fort Worth.
Oh, you're in Dallas?
No, I know. I'm going to be in Austin is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
From Wednesday through
Saturday. You're in Dallas now?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was saying that you are from Dallas. He didn't realize that.
Oh,
he's going to be in Austin.
Yeah.
Pulling
we should all have a beer when we're in the same city.
Knee pads out and worshiping some statist rulers.
Exactly what I'm going to be doing, too. And the whole time...
Don't get pissed at me.
The whole time I'm going to be saying, Caleb Leverett, nice to meet you. My name's Caleb Leverett. May I please call Senator?
Because Caleb is moving to Austin.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
In just a little over a month.
Yeah, about a month.
And I can visit you better there because the flights fly from Dallas to Austin. They don't go from Dallas to Odessa.
What's the drive from Dallas to Austin like?
3.5 hours, yeah.
It's a long time. And it's a 30-minute flight.
Yeah, well...
It's a 40-minute flight to Odessa from Dallas, by the way.
Okay, you're right. Yeah. I was exaggerating. I was trying to make it sound better.
Checked and...
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a buddy who works for the TSA here. He's an old high school buddy of mine. Yeah, old high school buddy of mine. He works at TSA here, and I was going through the line, and I kept going, I might have something, buddy. You might want to check my balls.
Was he
check
there?
My balls. Yeah, I kept trying to get him to pat my balls.
Did he touch your
No,
balls?
he was going, just go through.
Oh, man, you could have been a terrorist. We need to have your buddy fired.
Come on.
You should have had a camera with that one.
Oh,
You should have brought your camera.
well, he's been there for a few years, and I always forget that he works there. And it takes
Which one?
the one in Midland International Airport.
Oh, Midland, man.
So,
Midland, Texas. I got stories from Midland, Texas. Wow.
do you really?
There's weird people come from Midland.
That's true.
Yeah, his name is George.
Not to be rude. I'm just kidding. Well, not really. But,
No, and you do know that George W. Bush was raised in Midland, Texas, do you not?
oh, well, that explains it.
And Laura Bush killed a guy in Midland.
Yeah, Laura Bush murdered some dude in Midland.
Yeah.
Y'all are the ones that told me that. I didn't know that before.
Yeah, we were.
I think I should tell SMU, my college, that they need to rename the Laura Bush Walkway after someone who didn't murder someone.
Exactly. So your weird Midland story is just that weird people come from Midland?
Yeah, that's really all it is. Just
That's all it is, or that's all you want to say?
Yeah, that's kind of all I want to say.
He was an asshole, wasn't he?
Yeah, fuck that guy. Did you hear about the White House petition to build a Death Star?
No.
Yeah, there's a White House petition. It's got over 100,000 signatures that we should build a Death Star. You know why? Because Neptune. That's why. We're taking out Neptune.
Okay, I'm so lost.
Oh, God.
I don't get it. That was okay. I'm just gonna pretend like I understood that one.
I'm with you, Ann. I don't understand.
Y'all have never seen Star Wars?
Yeah, but I don't memorize it.
I'm not a nerd. No.
Oh my God! There's no way I'm talking to I'm friends with two human beings who don't even know what the Death Star is.
No. I know what the Death Star. Well, no, I don't know what the Death Star is.
Oh my God!
I know it from.
I should because I've watched it.
Oh my God!
I'm not into that into pop culture. I'm sorry. I just explain it.
Oh,
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars. Star Wars is not nerdy. Star Trek is nerdy.
Oh, Star Trek is what I was watching with my dad when growing up. Okay.
The Death Star is a planet-sized weapon. It's like a moon-sized weapon that destroys entire planets. It's the entire basis for the first and last Star Wars movie. First and sixth.
Oops, there we go.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm done. Y'all don't know what Star Wars is. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
No, Star Wars is great. It tells a lot about the truth about what the government has, as far as technology, because they're 50 years in front of us.
Well, hang on. Maybe Ben's right. We don't know what the significance of this 100,000 signatures on Death Star signing or whatever, but all I've heard is Orville Redenbacher and Liberty Ann's going to call in. Is there some significance there? We just briefly touched on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, with Orville? Or with me calling in?
There's really no significance there. Other than it? Yeah, that was it. That was just...
Yeah, that was really it. I was excited about just hearing that part of it. Really.
Okay.
It did it for me. But it reminds me of Back to the Future when the guy, the big mean guy Buff was in the jacuzzi with the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Biff.
For some reason, I'm channeling that movie right now.
That's right. Yeah, up in his mansion. His mansion in the Biff world or something.
Yeah, Biff. That was...
I don't know. That was random.
Yeah, that was the second one. That's when he goes to the future, to 2015, yeah.
Okay,
the third one's in Wild West.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like the last one. It was kind of scary almost. I was talking to someone on my Facebook page, and they were like, are you going on a show or whatever? Or who was it? Mark Bunchen. He likes y'all's show a lot. And then, so he's listening. And but I was telling him about how I'm PMSing, and I was going on and on about it. And he was like, maybe you should call in a show or something. And so I checked my messages and saw Ben's message. But that's what I was talking about before the show.
Was that you were PMSing?
Well, then I was PMSing, but then I was relating it back to how women, he was talking about how his mom, when she was going through whatever, I don't know, getting off of, she had a hysterectomy, how that was like the nuclear war or something kind of. And I was like, what if they stuck all the women that were going through that kind of menopause-ish or hysterectomies on, like, say, a Saddam, you know, and maybe what would happen? He'd probably come out like, you know, with his hands up and run to jail or something, you know?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I had a weird I think it's a good theory. I had a weird word problem in class today, in my women's leadership class, where they were talking about there's a guy who's working, who works at an office building, completely dominated by women. He's the only guy there. And within earshot of his desk is the water cooler where the women all hang around and talk about their menstrual cycles and pregnancy and eating. And this guy is made a bit uncomfortable by that. And so he comes to you, the supervisor. How do you solve that problem? And, of course, you know, the right answer is, well, you have a meeting with everyone and say, hey, please be respectful. Other people are around. But what I wanted to say was, what's the problem? Why is Bill being a nuts? I don't understand. Just talk to the... I'm not scared of women, though, I think, is the difference. And a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And
they're scared of what the TV tells them is what a menstrual cycle is. Like the tampon commercial and stuff, make it look like it's like an avalanche of like horrible crap, you know?
Heavy flow. That's true. Well, some women it is true.
Well, maybe some, but for me, example, I've never even really had one. I just had the symptoms. I'm just a total bitch every once in a while. And like, I thought I didn't think I could become pregnant. And so that's why I didn't know I was pregnant for 7 months, by the way. I wasn't just a total idiot.
You were one of those suddenly gave birth ladies.
Yeah.
I
So
was
that
pregnant.
was my reasoning. Yeah, so I never actually have. So that's why when people get grossed out by it, I'm like, why are you getting grossed out by it? Like, seriously, I don't even have to use anything. I just become a bitch and then the next 2 days, I'm like really insecure and just want to curl up in a hole kind of thing. But, that's why I don't do my show during those 4 days.
well, fair enough. And
I shouldn't call in other people's shows because I totally sorry.
No, you're doing great.
Don't honest. It's like an honest truth drug or something.
Honesty is what we're all about on the Caleb Leverett Show.
Yeah, in fact, if you're not honest, that's the quickest way to get booted off the show.
Mm-hmm. And we're also not scared of women, so whatever. I'm not scared of a menstrual cycle.
I'm scared of marriage to a woman, but I'm not scared of women.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all I wanted to say. I just want to say to the world that it's not gross, I promise.
No.
It's not for most people.
No, maybe it's gross if you're a young man and you haven't kind of experienced that. But at 30 years old, man, lay a towel down and go for it. That's...
But I mean, I don't even have to do that because I'm just saying there's some women. I know there are women out there like me that they took birth control when they were 18 just so they could actually have one. You know. So there's a lot of those kind of women out there.
Now that I think about it, when I think about when I was a young man, I always dated. My long-term relationships were always with girls who didn't have periods, and even and even my marriage, it was controlled by birth control. So when I got divorced was really, I guess, the first time I kind of had to deal with it. I was already 27. I guess it's interesting.
Because women are kind of out of commission when they are during it and stuff. So it kind of affects relationships a lot. I mean,
some of them get really horny during their period.
Some do. Yes, some do. I don't know.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not scared of girls.
Women are just crazy. Well, I mean, but nothing bad to women out there. I just mean like I'm crazy. But I'd rather be crazy than like I don't know, some crude stuck-up person or something. I don't know. Never mind.
Aren't all libertarians crazy though? Aren't we all batshit nuts?
Some people would.
I'm going to shut up. How about that?
Why?
Y'all should just mute me.
Why? You're doing great.
No, because I'm just... No.
You're the most pleasant thing we've had on the show today. Tripp called in. He was all blood and guts, and they're drowning kids.
Ew. Oh,
I don't know what he
okay.
was
Blood
talking
and guts,
about.
yes.
Hey, don't slam Trip.
I'm joking. Trip.
He's
Oh,
talking.
but birth
No, he
control.
was-
Someone said they said in the chat room, birth control can make them crazier, and yes, it does. It actually turns me into like that's why I really think I'd be barefoot and pregnant and have like 18 children if I were on birth control.
Well, birth control
because
tricks your body into thinking that it's pregnant. Like that's exactly what the hormones do. You're already pregnant, so.
Like I don't wear makeup when I wear makeup, but like I'll put on earrings and I'll take more time to put my hair. If I don't take birth control, I'll feel more womanly and I'll be attracted more to men. Like it's all I think about.
Yeah.
So that's the real me, I guess.
Right, because your body thinks you're already pregnant, and what happens is, I think I read a really interesting article about why, like in the 60s and 70s, it was more of the alpha male with the hairy chest was kind of the sex symbol, and as birth control became more and more popular, it became
Justin Bieber-esque.
Yeah, it kind of the young kind of androgynous, guy.
I like hairy chest guys, but they can't match, and that their moms still dress them usually, and that smell bad. But I'm really weird.
Did you say they can't match?
I like it when they don't match, because then it's kind of just like they're trying too hard. I like it when they don't match and they just,
they just throw on a T-shirt and go.
Yeah, kind of that.
Take their worm medication and hit the door.
Yeah, there were not those guys in college. There were no fraternity guys. Or if I would have wanted a tech or an A&M place, I could have gotten that kind of stuff. But I got popped up collar, pink shirt, popped up collar, matching shoes. It just made me sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand. I lived in Lubbock for a minute, and Lubbock was everyone had to dress is exactly the same. It was really weird.
No, Lubbock is much better than Dallas. Wow.
Dallas
Lubbock's
is
like a college town.
Yeah, Dallas is a lot like that as well. Fort Worth, not like that. Funky Town is great.
Fort Worth town, yeah. That's why I wear boots in Dallas all the time, because I was always trying to keep the metrosexuals and the $30,000 millionaires out of Dallas. And I don't know, I kind of got overwhelmed or taken out by them.
Yeah, you can't fight that battle in Dallas.
I really tried, though.
I know.
It took it over.
Dallas thinks it's Paris.
Well, yeah, there's a few places that are like underground kind of bars that are still, like the Double Wide. It's like a trailer park bar. I like that place.
Double Wides used to be my favorite bar of all time when it was...
Really?
Yeah, but they had a tornado out in front of the place spinning, and then you'd go inside. It's a Double Wide trailer, and then on the on TV, it was nothing but footage of just tornadoes ripping through trailer parks. And it was awesome. Yeah, I love Double Wide.
Lee Harvey's. Do you ever hear that one?
I've heard of it. I've never been there. I've been to Double Wides and Mad Dogs, I think, is down the street.
The Loon is another good one.
Yeah, it's in Lee Harvey Oswald, yeah.
That's a bar?
Yes.
Well, Kennedy was shot in Dallas, so somebody's got to handle that.
Those are the only three bars, though, I would suggest to ever go to.
Well, Deep Ellum, but even the last time I went to Deep Ellum, I went to, where you should go, Libertarian Ann? Have you never been to the Freeman? Have you never been to the Freeman?
Oh, no, I've been to the Freeman.
Okay.
And actually, they're hiring. The time there was like 11 to 2 in the middle of the afternoon every day. It's kind of weird timing. But I would work there if it were like at night or something.
Well, that's my buddy John J. Myers who owns that place.
Mm-hmm.
And he
made it for Ron Paul, or after Ron Paul inspired him to do it, right?
That's one of the reasons. He also owns a printing press, and he was our candidate for senator this year.
A printing press? Is that what you said?
Yeah, he has a printing press. It's kind of like our founding fathers.
Dude, that's what I need for my nonprofit is a printing. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. So you should go in and talk to John J. Myers and his wife, who I'm upset at myself. I can't remember her name right now, but at the Freeman, they're just great people.
Yeah, I know. I wish they stay open later, is what I always try to tell them on Facebook stuff. But
do they close at midnight or something?
Yeah.
Well, how could you work there if you broadcast like in the wee hours of the morning?
Well, I could broadcast from there. I have done the show from bars before.
That's right. You were the one telling me that. Did you broadcast at your 10-year reunion.
High school reunion. And, yeah.
I'm a big fan. That's hilarious.
It was the worst state reunion ever, so I had to hide out in the bathroom.
They probably all you comrades and graduates probably think you've lost your damn mind. I get it.
I didn't go to mine. Mine was.
I didn't either. I think
I was a couple years ago.
I'm going to go to my 20.
Are you?
I did not go to my 10.
I couldn't get excited. I mean, I actually enjoyed high school. I really liked it.
Me too.
Yeah, I had a great time in high school, but I just, the 10-year reunion was coming around, and I already keep in contact with the folks I want to keep in contact with on Facebook. And it's not like when our parents' 10-year reunion rolled around and they actually hadn't any clue what the rest of everyone was up to. I know what everyone.
And everyone just thought they were going to hook up with everyone, or the guys thought they were just going to hook up with the girls or something, like the movies or something. Is what it kind of seemed like.
Yeah, well, sure. Isn't that?
I hear an echo.
Oh, do you?
I might need.
Well, we are getting towards the end of the show, so once we get close to the top of the hour, Skype starts echoing on us for some reason. Every single hour.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it bad to the audience or something? Or they
I can't hear it at all, but
we don't hear
okay.
But yeah,
but we never do.
Yeah, we never do hear it. So I don't know. It kind of depends. Yeah, okay. Yeah, why don't you call us right back? We're going to sign off, sign right back on. You can call us right back. We'll be back in about 12 minutes. Okay. In theory, we should be right back here on the Caleb Leverett Show on Liberty Movement Radio. Well, we got about 9 minutes left on the show, but I always enjoy our chats with Libertarian Ann.
Yeah, she's a very interesting person, to say the least. Always enjoy when she calls in. I will give her this. I'm not sure if she's going to call back in or not, but she's always brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of whether you agree with her or not, I admire the brutal honesty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think she said anything that I've disagreed with her on.
Oh, well, but my point is it's just brutal honest. I mean, she talks about things that some people say that's personal. You can't talk about that. Well, I mean, I admire that she talks about just personal things. I mean, obviously, I've got some personal things that I've made very clear that I will not talk about on air, but I don't skirt around the issue. You know, she talks about personal things, but yeah, the plethora of things we've talked about, anywhere from Holocaust to music genres to
menstrual cycles. We are all over the map tonight.
All over the map.
And we've got Ann right back on. Are you there?
Yeah, y'all keep talking. I was listening to y'all.
So we've had a good time tonight. We had a good time last night.
A real good time. Enjoyed it.
Y'all were talking about me, I thought. You know?
Oh, we were. Yeah, we were.
Yeah, but I knew you were probably listening in, so I didn't talk shit.
Oh. I didn't catch enough of it. Dang it.
Hey, also we've talked about circumcision. I got really heated when I misunderstood Ben's position on it. I unjustly ripped his ass because of...
No, I was doing the same thing Ben was. It was probably because both of us ended up against you because we were both kind of saying it was sexual. And you were like, remember?
Y'all were talking the sexual side, but I was talking about the physical, painful side.
Yeah, the physical.
Of a young human being who happens to be...
I'm glad you got upset. It shows how great of a dad you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Thanks. I appreciate that, but...
You're an awesome dad.
I only believe in female circumcision. I think you should definitely do that, though.
Okay.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Very facetious. To find... Do you cut their labias off?
You cut their clitoris off is what happens in the female circumcision because, and the goal for that is very different than the male circumcision.
Oh.
Yeah,
male circumcision.
Girls love it, and then you get birth control and they don't even know what happened because they're not really even women anymore.
They still do that actually in Africa. They have a big problem.
They do.
With female circumcision, and the point is that they want to remove the ability for a woman to feel pleasure during sex. So
are you being serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious.
There are people actually cut women or female baby things.
But they're wrong with it because you don't have to have just a clit to have whatever. You know what I mean? I think it depends on what you think the G spot is. And I
Right.
don't
I'm
necessarily-
And it is different with
Hang on.
different women too. That G spot, it's kind of sneaky sometimes.
I'm sickened right
It's a sneaky little thing. Yeah.
There
Typically,
are cultures that do that?
yeah, oh yeah, it happens all over Africa.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. To me, the G spot, the easiest place to start is just in and up. Like just right in there. That's
Good point.
the good.
point.
That you can at least start there, and then
Mhm.
sometimes it's sneaky.
It's different for every lady, has it?
It's
It is so hard for me to engage y'all's conversation. I was not aware.
You didn't know about that?
Ooh, I didn't.
Oh,
God
yeah.
almighty. It's bad enough that the people think that they have to circumcise their newborn males, and now they cut off the clits so they don't have orgasms. What?
No wonder we're so messed up. It's crazy.
Yeah, they circumcise women or babies.
Fuck
really.
statism.
And it's not babies though. I think they're like 10 or 11 when the female circumcision happens. But in most cultures, that's like your coming of age is when you get circumcised. In most cultures, circumcision happens at about 10 or 11, 12 years old, something like that. It's a
I
rite
had
of
to watch
passage.
porn just to have found a circumcised penis in America.
Oh.
You
Well,
know?
yeah. Well, I took,
I never met one in real life.
I grew up in a locker room, so I saw a lot of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Are
I
there
remember-
really that many?
Yeah, oh yeah, about half, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, good.
I guess I'm just,
Aaron.
I don't know why I picked the ones without it. I mean, because it's weird. Maybe there's something about them.
It seemed, and this is an overgeneralization, but it seemed like the Hispanic guys weren't circumcised for the most part. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that doesn't make
I
sense
do remember.
to me because
No, it doesn't.
no, but
Well, they're more Catholic. Maybe
They're
that's,
Catholic,
well,
Jewish. They're Catholic.
so
yeah.
large Catholics are not circumcised.
Correct. But in America, it's really only Jews and Americans, or like white Americans. For some reason, it's an American thing to get circumcised.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure how that came
I'm
about.
so
but-
behind
How about the statues, like of Michelangelo and stuff? Were those circumcised?
Oh,
Those
that's a good question. Who? Like the statue of David? I don't know. Let's go have a look at David's junk real quick. Dave.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it fell off because it might have been a piece that fell off. I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about the Goonies, the movie The Goonies?
Oh, we're talking about Michelangelo.
No,
piece that fell
Michelangelo.
off. Yeah, Michelangelo. Have you ever seen The Goonies?
Yeah.
No, I know you have, Ben. I was talking to Ann.
A goon?
The Goonies. The Steve.
Goonies the movie?
Yeah.
Goonies the movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen Goonies the movie.
You remember at the beginning? There's a scene where the statue of David and his penis had fallen off. Someone broke it.
Really? I don't remember that.
You gotta look that up.
Are you serious? You're kidding.
No.
I'm Googling right now.
Oh, do it.
I can spell Michelangelo.
Okay, you and Ben are about the same age. I think I'm about 5 or 6 years older than y'all, and I mean,
Yeah, he's 5 years older than me. Right. Yeah.
I'm 30. How old are you?
Oh, I thought you were 35.
Caleb's 35.
Caleb's 35. I'm 35, but Ben's 30.
Oh, okay.
I assumed you're about the 27 to...
Yeah, I'm 29. But thank you for assuming I'm 27. I like that one better. Let's go with that.
Well, anyways, but yeah, just look at these, and David's junk falls off, and he says, "Oh no, this is my mom's favorite piece," and they're putting it back.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Oh, holy shit!
That's
We've got to
all
sign
we needed
off.
to bring it back.
We've got to sign off. We've come to the end of our time.
No, wait, let's find out if Michelangelo. I'm looking at his penis right now.
I'm looking at it
and
right
looks
now,
like,
and it says that he is circumcised. Oh, we can stay on.
No.
So let's just keep going.
No, it says that the picture looks like he is not circumcised.
Well, I'm
Wait,
actually reading about
I
it,
have to zoom in. Oh, I'm zooming in.
and here's what the deal is with David. Now, David, you will remember, was Jewish. So, King David. That's King David, the statue of David.
The murderer.
It just looks small.
The man after God's own heart.
Yes.
The murderer.
So the thing is, they say he is Jewish, and he is circumcised. However, at that time, Jews only cut off the very tip of the foreskin. So
they like half flop.
So it would have looked intact with not much overhang, is what this says. The complete removal of the foreskin was not instituted until Roman times.
Jesus.
When some Jewish youths would stretch their foreskins to appear uncircumcised to fit in with the Roman youths. This angered the rabbis, who decided to begin removing all of the foreskin to make it much harder for a young Jew to hide his Jewishness.
Holy shit.
Oh, I turned my safe search off. Now I got plenty of penises.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, he is circumcised. I affirm that, what you said.
Mm-hmm. Just not.
I have a close-up. I have a close-up now. He didn't shave either. He's got a really nice bush there.
Yeah, he's got a good solid bush.
It's perfectly shaped.
It's kind of groomed well, to be honest.
And
he
people
took brush to it beforehand.
Around,
it's like curled almost.
Holding, slapping their dicks around to prove what they are.
His balls are bigger than his
I'm
penis.
still a Christian. It's a real wonder.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Wow, oh wait, this one is next to a real penis. Ooh, that's nasty.
Now
that guy didn't shave.
The reason why the penis and balls are particularly kind of small on these statues is that was considered more attractive, was to have genitalia back then.
That is what's really
at
weird.
the time, too, they didn't really know what the balls were for. They didn't understand what the balls were for.
Like Ben. They still don't know what the balls are for.
They thought they were weights, and what they thought was, and when you're young, and your balls are higher, and you have a higher voice. And then
they sag.
When they descend a little bit further, that they're like weights, and they make your voice deeper. That's really what they thought about the balls.
And that's why they started circumcising, so the boys' voices would stay high in the choir?
Oh, no, that's castratos. That's actually completely castrating, so that they would have...
Okay.
Yeah, just so they could have beautiful, high singing voices for the rest of their lives. Also, they would do that to many slaves, so that especially the slaves to the women of the royal family, most of those dudes were castrated. So they would...
Wow. Is that called Enoch? I forget what it's called.
Yeah, it is a word like that. What's another word for castrato? It's...
Because even God talks about in the Bible...
Eunuch.
Yeah, eunuch. God mentions eunuchs in the Bible, or he also mentions people that are like that or something. So kind of like is a condoning almost of homosexuality when he says something like that, I thought. But I don't know what I'm talking about, really.
Well, I don't know either, but I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there were castratos even into the 20th century. There is an actual recording of a castrato singing that I heard on a radio show one day.
Their voice really stays higher because of that?
Absolutely. Stays higher. Because they never produce enough testosterone to make the vocal cords thicken and grow. And, is a beautiful singer.
Now I want to post these pictures to my Facebook page, and people will be like, why is she posting pictures of Michelangelo's penis on her Facebook page?
Right. King David.
I've never looked at them before, really. Huh.
I'm looking at pictures, too. The zoomed up. And it doesn't look circumcised to us, but they're saying that...
No, it is. Or
you can
maybe
tell.
It's not circumcised.
It's definitely... There's still a turtleneck.
Yes, still a turtleneck. That's what I was getting at.
But it's not a full turtleneck.
It's not a full. There's a little bitty opening.
Right.
It's kind of like a roly-poly.
It's exactly like a roly-poly. Yes.
Man. Okay, I'm looking at different, but now I kind of... I'm getting all blushed. Oh. Okay.
Roly-poly.
Wow. Somehow I got into a different part. I got into Michelangelo's extra large penis.
I am kind of pubic hair jealous of this statue, though, to be honest with you. Look at the magnificence of that pubic hair. Look at that. It's like it was shaped in a salon or something. That
is it braided?
It's just flowing. It's curly and flowing like a lion's mane or something.
Like a lion. Yes, it is like a lioness.
It's powerful. It's not scraggly like 70s porn pubes. It's like this shit has been gelled and
gelled. Yes,
right.
Gelled.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And what kind of trimmers did they have back then to get such a close-up?
They had a slave just bite your pubes off. the only trimming they did back then. They had the trimmer slave.
Oh God! Oh, it is a nice, pretty picture though. I might order it for my room.
But his balls are smooth as eggs.
But I think they say, I think I've said this before on the shows, that the balls are weak and sensitive and vaginas can take a pounding.
Yeah,
so why we use it too much.
Who's it? What's your name that said that?
I feel like it was Betty White.
Betty White.
Yeah. Betty White.
Betty White.
She voted for Obama, though. It's the only bad thing about her, but she's still cool.
Yeah, she's way cool. She's got a new show on TV that's pretty funny. It's old people.
Really?
Yeah, it's called... I'll have to look it up, but it's old people pulling practical jokes on folks. So they're old, out in public, so awesome. They're acting like they're senile, and they're like...
That's so Betty White.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I love her.
Betty
okay, I'm going to...
Show.
Off Their Rockers? Is it called Off Their Rockers?
That's it. It's called Off Their Rockers, and it's a crew of old people who go around pranking folks. Their senility. Like, there'll be a guy on his rascal, on his little scooter, pulling a baby carriage, and the baby's crying. He's
I want to be like her when I grow up, too.
Oh, yeah.
Her and Ron Paul and Sarah Paul, a mixture of all three.
A mixture of the couple of Pauls and a White.
Betty White, faking it. There's one called Faking It by Betty White.
Faking it.
Sometimes the gal just needs a fella to make an impression. That's what she says.
Oh, yeah. Betty White. What's funny is how she was able to kind of remake her career as Dirty Old Woman.
Yeah, I think she got her her new career from Adam Sandler.
I feel like
she's been in, I think, 2 or 3 of his movies. Now, I don't remember which one, but I know I've seen her in there.
Well, the one where Grandma, Happy Gilmore, that wasn't Betty White. Who was in? There was an older lady in that. She was awesome.
No, Betty White was not Happy Gilmore's grandma, but I'm pretty sure she...
Oh, she's the Golden Girls, remember?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, Golden Girls. I mean...
I love Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
And then she did some sitcoms, and then she was on Joy Behar for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Which wasn't cool. Yeah. I mean, she was funny, but Joy Behar wasn't funny, really.
Mm-mm. See, you know what? Joy, she started out as a comedian. Joy Behar did. I did not know that. Yeah, I had no idea. But
oh yeah.
And I've looked at her, stand-up bits, and they're not funny.
They're not funny at all.
No, I don't know how that ends up happening.
Yeah, I've been researching, not researching, but maybe because I'm kind of a dork, but I've been looking into the female comics and kind of like their background and why they, some of them pretend to be ugly. Some of them, or why, just
like
a lot of them are from,
tends to be ugly.
Yeah, and a lot of them Jewish background, but I'm not saying that has anything to do with it. But it's just interesting.
Oh, in showbiz. Showbiz.
Yeah, I guess it's showbiz. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's
so.
You don't have to be Jewish, but
But who's the girl that married? The guy. She's got
5 shows on TV.
Hair.
I know who you're talking about. She's real pretty. She's got
what is her name?
She's one of Chelsea Handler's girls, and
I love Chelsea Handler.
She's an executive producer on that Two Broke Girls show. She had her own show that was so awful that it only lasted like 6 weeks.
She's married to the guy that has a show, though.
Oh yeah, she's married to an executive at Fox. And
okay.
There's a W. Whitney Cummings is her name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Whitney
my ex-boyfriend gave me the book. Chelsea Handler's book was called My Life Laying Down or something.
Yeah, it was
the breakup book, I guess. It was really rude.
Oh, really?
But,
I thought it was about.
Yeah, it was a good book, though.
I thought it was about her getting hammered and having sex.
Yeah, well, it was, but he was kind of saying, here's your book. And,
that wasn't very nice.
I know, but it was a good book, though. I enjoyed it. But,
is it okay to break up with people via text? Is that okay?
I think so.
I agree. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think so.
But I'm not the best person to talk to about that because I'm horrible at it. I usually just piss people off till they break up with me because I can't break up with them.
I tend to do that as well.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
No, but that's not the lady I was thinking of. I was thinking of the lady that, what's her name? The guy that has the show, like, Jimmy Kimmel's wife.
Oh, Sarah Silverman.
That's who I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. They were showing a picture of her, or she was like, I don't know really, I'm not going to get into it. She said some rude comments, I guess, in the past.
Oh, yeah, that's her entire shtick is...
I guess that's her stick, though.
Yeah, is her...
Is that what all comedians are mean? Are there they're incredibly needy, and most of them are kind of they're depressed, and are there any that are nice, though, and not mean comedians?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like comedians. I hang out, when I was in San Antonio, I hung out with a big group of comedians, and no, everyone just rips on each other all the time.
No, I know they're cool, but I mean, I know that they're kind of, it's not like they're going to, like, inspire you to, like, be a better person. Well, I don't know, they might, but I'm just trying to, Betty White might be a nice comedian, is a good example.
Maybe, but,
because,
she's funnier when she's being mean, though.
Mean? I don't mean mean like that. I mean mean in a personal way, like off stage.
Well, like George Carlin, everyone says, was one of the nicest people you could ever meet. And you don't really get that.
So maybe it's just some people. Okay.
Yeah, and you don't really get that from his act because he comes across as kind of grumpy old man-y in his act. But they all say, like, there's some great stories about there was an intern. George Carlin had his own TV show on Fox for a season or maybe 2 seasons.
Uh-huh.
There was an intern on the show.
Bill Hicks was a good guy, too. So,
yes.
Okay, never mind.
Fellow Texan, Bill Hicks. And Sam Kinison, they all say, was super nice, but he was going to party really hard, so it was difficult to keep up. I think
he reminds me of me a lot.
Who's Sam Kinison?
What?
Sam Kinison reminds you of you?
No, Bill Hicks, because I'm just like, I've just always, I don't know, just the going till you're, never mind, really. I don't want to knock on wood, actually. I'm trying to be better. But it's like if people at a bar say they challenge you or something, I'm horrible. I'm a libertarian. Or like just the fact that if people say not to do something, I'll do it. So like if people challenge me, like, hey, or why are you leaving early? You pussy or something, drink more or something. I'm kind of like a guy in that way, and I'll stay there till the bar closes or something, just to prove a point. You know.
I'm the same way. I'm ultra.
And not think about my own health.
No, I'm much the same way. I'm ultra competitive. Okay. I've discovered to never go on a date where we go bowling. It's a bad date because I'm just far too competitive to have fun.
Or laser tag.
Laser tag might be fun if we're on the same team, but even then, I'll be putting out orders. Probably
because there's a winner. Yeah.
I said to snipe. I don't know what I would do.
I almost peed myself. That was so funny. Or maybe I just have to pee. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very competitive, and I'm actually, I'm not drinking right now, that's kind of
and has it for like 2 weeks now.
About a week, and I'm going 12 or 13 weeks. My plan.
Really?
Yeah, and which is fine.
I'm proud of him because I'm sitting here pyramiding beers, which is why I've been kind of quiet for the last 10 minutes.
Oh,
which it's not.
You've been drinking beers?
Oh yeah. Normally we get sloppy.
Okay, now I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, that's
I've had a glass of wine.
Last hour, especially. Of course, we're in
overtime already.
Quadruple overtime right now.
Oh yeah, because I think I was supposed to have a show at 10, but
oh, were you? Well, I don't sign off and let you.
Well, I don't know. Well, I'm not going to do it. We weren't going to do it because I don't know how to actually call in yet, and Chris can't do it because he's somewhere else or something.
What was that, Cantwell?
No, Chris Dillard.
Oh,
Chris. I'm like, no.
I love
Cantwell. No. Chris Cantwell called in. I had a show with him. I told you all about that, though, I think. And I put up a little clips of it.
I think I've heard some of it. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it. I think that's where Orville Redenbacher came from, as I was listening to it and somehow had a comment about that. I don't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But today we were talking about 50s horror movies.
Oh, like the Blob?
Yeah, the Blob.
I remember the Blob.
Uh-huh.
I was scared of the
that's what
I watched it on
Ben
VHS.
told me is the Blob.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was the green slime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really, it was a hilarious little bit that I was doing that nobody got other than myself.
You talked with Cantwell about this?
No, I talked to Libertarian Ann about
okay.
it.
Oh, on her show?
Yeah, because she framed the question as, what was that movie that had the Blob? I can't remember what it's called. It was a green slimy blob. What was that? And so
it was red.
Oh, it was red. I see. In my brain, it's kind of purpley. In my brain,
no, the Blob was. Well, it wasn't green. It was.
Oh, wait, was it purple?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
There were several. Do you remember there was the Blob and his boy?
But there was also slime that was green.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Green slime.
You're thinking of Slimer.
That's Nickelodeon.
Off of
Ghostbusters. Slimer was green.
Oh, yeah. I was a big Ghostbuster.
Proctor chimes in. Proctor has chimed in to let us know that the first Blob movie was in black and white.
Oh.
Because the Blob was black.
Well,
the Blob is a racist sumbitch is what it is. It was boiled down.
It was.
The Blob is racist.
Where is that post? I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, I can't find it either right now. So my very next question after she said, what's that movie with
here it is.
Bob? I can't remember what it's called. I said, what is that movie with a cop, but he's also a robot? It's a cop, but he's a robot cop. What's the name of that movie? I can't remember.
Remember the 80s where there was a cop, but he was also a robot? What was that called?
Are you making a blonde joke, Ben Farmer?
Well, it's just a fun game. And then the next one was, what was that one with Steven Seagal, and he's really hard to kill?
No, wait, let me say it back. So back in response, I said to Ben Farmer, I go, I'll be back, Ben Farmer, to kick your ass.
See, that's why I thought
you come back.
I totally thought you were playing the game with me at that point, so I kept.
I was.
Okay, good, yeah. That's a funny thing. I have a buddy that we do that. You know, what's the name of that one movie that this happened? And we'll say, no.
And then there was Steven Seagal. It was hard to kill. I don't remember the name, but I remember that it was very hard to kill Seagal for one reason or another.
Yeah, exactly.
And I put, in response, you might need me to be your Trivial Pursuit partner, Ben. And I put, hard to kill, even Steven Seagal movie is difficult to murder, or just a link to it. Yeah, that's all.
Yep.
I don't think anyone knew what we were talking about, and that made us look really stupid.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy who texted me and said, that reminds me of that movie where these bad guys want Bruce Willis to die, but they're having a hard time doing it. What is that movie? I said, you're thinking of Braveheart, is what I told him. Either Braveheart or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. One of the two.
Oh, my gosh. I think it was green, actually. Or, no, was you...
Well, here,
but then I said, I admitted, you're so smart. I knew there was a reason for you guys, after all. I honestly couldn't think of the Blob.
The Blob?
So was it green?
I'm looking.
I was...
I don't know. We still don't know.
Really frightened by the Blob.
I was, too. I remember being frightened.
I was, too.
Yeah.
I was really frightened.
Yeah, I took my
dad
kids.
made me watch scary movies all the time.
Yet I took my kids this last ago to see The Hobbit.
Oh.
Wow, you talked about... I mean, the first hour was boring. The second hour is like it's getting intense. And then the third hour, I was literally having to... London said, Daddy, I want to go. And I was like, oh, crap. I've got your brothers and one of their friends here in the theater, and I paid $120 just to get us all in there and Coke and popcorn. And maybe I'm a douchebag. I might award myself the Douchebag of the Day award. I covered her ears and covered her eyes and said, baby, we've only got 20 minutes left. I didn't know what else to do. Yeah. But after that, she's actually quoting The Hobbit. She's actually the only thing that scared her was that little, what's the slimy guy's name? You know it.
Gollum. No. Gollum. Smeagol is his other name, but it's Gollum. Precious, my precious.
When I was a little girl, the smiling guys always scared me the most.
The what did?
For some reason. The smiling guys always scared me the most when I was a little girl.
Smiling
for some reason. Yeah, just the really creepy smiley guys, or just, not clowns, but just guys with a freaky smile in movies. I don't know why.
Like in a particular movie, or?
Well, for example, there was one. What was it? I forget which movie it was. But the guys had white, long hair, and it was maybe it was The Matrix, but or maybe it was Whitney Houston's movie with I don't know, whatever, Bodyguard. Might have been Bodyguard, actually. Where there was two.
Oh,
with white hair.
Yeah, he was an albino. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was
so much.
That's right, and he was stalking her. It was the Bodyguard.
That's the Bodyguard? Okay.
Bodyguard.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the two twins from Matrix, too.
He totally does. They were also albinos.
They both, so maybe I have a fear of albinos.
Maybe so. Have you ever listened to the Jonathan Winter Band?
No.
The Edgar Winter Band. They were two albino rockers. They were twin. I don't know if they were twin brothers. They were both brothers. They were both albinos in the 70s. They did such hits as Frankensteiner, which I'm almost you've heard, and The Blob. I've got it right here. Red. The Blob is red.
Oh, whatever.
He's red.
They're lying.
So here's the Edgar
That's
Winter.
Weird.
I'll just play a little piece of this. You've heard this song before. This is the Edgar Winter, two albinos rocking.
Well, no, you'll probably be scared of this song. But go on.
Hey, that song.
Oh, I actually like it a lot.
Yeah, you'd never heard that before?
I think I have. I think I've heard it before.
Yeah, Frankenstein. It's good, decent.
Yeah,
song.
yeah, good beat.
The one that scared me when I was little was It. That was the one that was scary to me. When you said clowns, It was a Stephen King novel. They turned it into a movie. It's an alien clown who eats children.
Oh my gosh! Why do they do those movies?
Because they're scary.
I guess people like to be scared.
Yeah.
I never had that desire really ever.
To be
scared. It's fun sometimes, I guess, but I'm just really bad. I mean, you can't watch a scary movie with me. I'm the most annoying person ever to watch a scary movie with.
Why is that? Because you're constantly twitching and squealing?
Well, yeah, I'll just jump at everything, scream like really, really loud, not on purpose, like really just I can't help it, and then I will ask a lot of questions too, which is really annoying. I know.
You're a movie question asker.
Yes, I am.
Well, it's okay to ask
I can't stand them
about
either.
movies, but do you ask questions during the movie?
That's what she said.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's like who was that guy?
I hate that.
I was watching a movie with my dad and one of his ex-girlfriends. It was The Matrix. The Matrix, and we were like,
oh no,
we were down to only like 30 minutes left in the movie. Right, the movie's almost over, and she turns around and she goes, "Now who was that?" And I go, "That's fucking Keanu Reeves. That's the main fucking character. How do you not know that?"
That's why I know I'm annoying. But really, it's only because I haven't watched movies in so long. That's why I do it now. I used to not do it so much, but since I haven't watched movies in so long, I'm like, I forget how movies actually work. I'm like, wait a minute, what
question
happened?
during a movie is fine, but multiple, just having to pause the damn thing, that's annoying.
So this is, if we were to ever watch a movie with Libertarian Ann, we would have to make sure she has seen it beforehand. She has to
No, I would still ask questions. You have to muzzle me, really.
You just can't sit still.
Yeah, well, that too. I actually tell my dad or whoever to lock me in my room and tie up my mouth, or not necessarily tie my mouth, but at least to take the cell phone away from me and the internet during that time of the month, because I will just ruin everything.
You're just that unpleasant.
Really.
You are the reason that Indians used to kick their women into one tent together in the tribe.
Maybe. I mean, I actually could benefit from it. I'm not lying. That's when everything bad happens in my life. Every breakup has ever happened at that time, or it's horrible.
Oh.
So a muzzle is not that bad of an idea, really, because I need to meditate, and I think it'd be good if someone could tie me down to a wall or something.
Little muzzling, little bondage. All of it.
You
Yeah.
as though you
I'm not into the bondage thing, but I just want to meditate. That's all.
sound as though you've had a muzzle before. No?
What?
You sound as though you've had a muzzle before. You
Oh. No. Well, I'm thinking, like, what's a muzzle? I'm thinking of just tape across your mouth would be fine.
kind of like Eric Pitt's profile picture.
Never mind. What is Eric saying?
No, he's not.
He's
not saying anything. You said a piece of tape across your mouth.
And that's what Eric Pitt's profile picture is.
That's what his profile picture is.
Oh, yeah. And it's also, there's the girl from the talking about Israel, and they have a tape across their mouth, and they're like, don't talk about Zionist stuff. You know what image I'm talking about?
No. There's girls. I heard girls, and I'm thinking of girls. Which, by the way, I'm doing a libertarian volunteerist anarchist girls show this Friday. Oh, yeah? What time?
9 o'clock, actually. Early.
9 o'clock Central Time. Where can people listen to the anarchist girl show?
They can go to blogtalkradio.com/RonPaulGirl or just anarchist.com, ANN. Goes straight to it, too. That's not easier to remember. I don't know.
Play on words. ANN.
Either one. But, I mean, I'm trying to think to do maybe 2 different ones and do one with the libertarian kind of Republican-leaning girls and then do one with the more volunteerist anarchist-leaning girls. Because there's so many of them, you know. So I can have 100 on at once, so... It's not going to be about, where are all the libertarian women? Like, it's not going to be about that stuff. It's going to be about actual issues, and we're getting beyond that discussion.
Did you say 100? I didn't even know there were 100 libertarian women out there.
Yeah, there's a ton of us. That's what I've been saying. They just don't get much time. We don't whine as much as liberal women. So.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I think, was that your post about how Cosmo articles are all whiny? That sort of thing?
About what?
About how pop culture rewards whiny liberal women, but that's the stuff that people read. I don't know. Yeah. I thought that was an article you wrote, but maybe it wasn't.
No, I mean, mine article is called Libertarian Girls, Where Are They? We're right here. It's not very creative.
Well, totally creative. I know exactly what that article is about now. That's how an article should be titled.
So yeah, but if y'all need to go,
I think it's about time for us to sign off because I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning.
And by the way, this was supposed sorry I didn't have my show. People, me and Chris Dillard, Chris Dillard. We didn't have a show last week either, but we would have been on at this time from 10 to 12, but we're having technical difficulties again. So I'm glad y'all were on. Thank you.
Yeah, we were very happy that you had technical difficulties. You could come onto our show, and we could look at the statue of David's pubic hair for a couple of minutes there. I know.
I learned so much this episode. Really.
Well, that's what we're all about on the Caleb Leverett Show is learning.
It really is.
That's what we do. We learn about things. Sometimes there's always genitalia jokes amongst our learning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you said something like a Bible quote. Do you want me to find a Bible quote?
To on Bible thumpers, even though I am a self-proclaimed Christian. We like to do
me too.
Because our racist jokes, we like to it's actually making fun of racism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we like to do it. It's fun.
Yeah.
And next time you call in, have a sexy Bible verse ready.
That's right. Because you're way more sexy than Christopher Cantwell.
Right. So one of the things we do on the show is we have sexy Bible voice, sexy Bible verse readings. Yeah, in
can I do sexy voice too?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Do a sexy voice while you're reading the Bible.
Yeah, one it was Ezekiel.
In fact, yeah. Are you in front of your computer right now?
Ezekiel. Was
Ezekiel 23:20.
Okay, 23.
Yeah, look that one up and
no, read it.
That's what I'm saying. Look it up and read it in a sexy voice.
No, I'm saying. Okay. Oh, you're asking her to live.
Yes.
Do we have that much time?
Yeah.
You have plenty of time. It's because of my show. Oh, okay. Here we go. The one. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. This is the one.
Read it sexy.
All right. New International Version, New NIV. Let's see which one's better. Okay, y'all are bad. Okay.
We're honest.
Well, I'm not going to. I'll try a sexy voice. I don't know if you can. Okay, no, that's not my sexy voice. Okay, there she lusted after her lovers, whose genitalias were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only one I got.
Cantwell might have had a better sexy voice than Libertarian.
Oh, come on.
Fuck you, Ben. No, she had a lot better sexy
She didn't really put her back into it, though.
Well, I didn't. Maybe I'm a little nervous. Maybe I need to drink a little more.
Don't be nervous,
You
baby.
put her on the spot.
But it depends on the guy. What's sexy?
Don't be nervous.
He lusted after the parameters, whose flesh is like the
It's all
flesh
right.
of donkeys.
Just take it easy.
I've actually read this verse quite a bit to myself. It's one of my favorites.
Those are like donkeys.
It's one of my favorites, too.
You know,
To engage you.
here in the Bible Belt, bush country, there are Bible verses plastered all over billboards on major highways. I've always wanted to, if I
Put that one up there?
Yeah, I've wanted to put that up there. Okay, if we're going to quote random Bible verses, let's talk about the genitalia like being like donkeys and
and whose
Oh, wait,
emission.
here's a better version, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, maybe I need to think about something sexy in my head before I start. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to picture Michelangelo's penis. Okay. She lusted. Oh, no. Okay. She lusted. Oh, no. Okay. She lusted after lovers with genitalias as large as donkeys and a mission like those of a horse.
Yeah, I like that.
With a little at the end. No, I don't know. I can't pull it off. Too early, maybe.
I think that needs to be.
Sorry, that's all I got.
You did good, girl. You did good.
That needs to be on a billboard. It really does.
I think that needs to be on like the first billboard coming into town.
Yeah, we've got to promote Christianity.
Yeah.
It really is telling us how bad a woman is for lusting about donkeys.
What's wrong with a woman lusting after a man?
I know. What's wrong with
she
that?
likes his big donkey schlong. I'm a big fan of that.
Well, I read this and I thought, Brooke, you're a whore is what I got from it. God's telling you or actually the ones that they talk about, you were engaged in whatever prostitution, but you didn't even ask for money. You're worse than a prostitute. I thought he was talking directly to me,
what?
like as in, not prostitution, but as in like just having sex before marriage and not even ask, like you're worse than a prostitute. You know what I mean?
Who said that to you?
You're talking.
No, when I read the Bible, I guess I just interpreted it wrong. But like it was like God was saying, you're worse than a prostitute, Brooke, because you had sex with men before you were married to them, and didn't even get money for or something.
Because I'm not married to him. I enjoy not being married, and I've got the same sexual desire as any other human being. And I don't fall for that crap, so don't. I'm not sure you are.
Yeah, what kind of marriage are you talking about here?
Yeah,
because in the Bible, marriage.
Don't beat yourself up. In anyone listening, if you have sex.
Oh yeah, don't beat yourself up if you're listening. No,
marriage, status controlled. We issue our licenses. Don't beat yourself up because of that. But
I'm just a Southern Baptist raised, so like I want to go to hell no matter what.
Yeah, but you got to understand, back in the biblical days, too, marriage was not defined as between a man and a woman. It was defined as between a man and a woman and a woman and a woman and a 13-year-old girl and a 9-year-old girl and whatever other woman. Sometimes a melon gets thrown in there from time to time.
Quit pointing out facts. You've got to quit pointing out facts. That's just ruining everything. Stop pointing out facts. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But look, no, Ezekiel 23:19, yet she became more and more promiscuous as she recalled the days of her youth. That's that one.
So, as she would, I would think. You run across some lovers whose genitals were like those of donkeys and whose emissions were like that of horses, you're going to be lusting, I think, a bit.
I mean, yeah, when you know, else you wouldn't be a female. But I don't know. People are, the Bible, I don't know.
I don't know either.
No wonder we have such, or I don't know, I think that, never mind. Just, it's hard reading raised in the Bible Belt. You know? Anyways.
Yeah, I guess. Are we ready to sign off? We've got, with you, for the folks who tuned in to listen to Libertarian Ann, she is on with us right now, but they had some technical difficulties on their own show. So we at the Caleb Leverett show on Liberty Movement Radio have gone into the overtime, and I think we're about done. But, you know, we have 12 million people in the chat room right now.
We do? No, we don't.
12, yeah.
Oh, 12 million.
Yeah, for every person that rings up, there's actually 1 million more listening.
Oh, y'all are great. Thank you for helping. Or for
we had a great time.
me on.
No, thank you so much for calling in.
Okay.
Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Are you on next time again?
What's that? Yeah, you can call in anytime.
Where are y'all?
Monday.
Where are y'all on next time? Monday?
Yeah, next time would be Monday from 7 to 10 p.m. Central Time. So that's 8 to 11 Eastern. I'll let you do the rest of the math. But, that's...
But, Joe, we did Tuesday, too, and Wednesday.
So you do Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
No, I just do Tuesdays, I think.
We just do Mondays and Tuesdays.
You're just Tuesdays?
I don't know.
Well, are you...
What's this guy saying? Arm of the Snake is saying, are you the same Ron Paul girl from YouTube harassing everyone? No, I was harassing Obama girl at one time, but I haven't been on YouTube in a long time.
But are you coming on right after this?
No, we're in her show right now. Her show's not happening tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, my show's not happening.
This has kind of been the Libertarian Ann.
This is the Libertarian Ann show.
Yeah.
No, just for the past 10 minutes is all. Yeah, so this show has my show. Just kidding. No, I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. Thank you for being nice.
And we love you back. Thank you for reading sexy Bible verses to us.
Yeah, sexy Bible. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to research or find some new ones for next time.
Thank you. Yeah, come prepared next time. We want...
I will.
I will.
No pun intended.
Caleb, you have some final words for us?
No, I don't. I'm just going to be... This is your show tonight, and I don't have any final words.
No,
your show.
No final words from Caleb. Well, I will... we're on Mondays, Tuesdays, Liberty Movement Radio.
Okay, I will say, I have time. I'll give one more plug.
Go for it.
Jordan Page Indiegogo campaign. Just Google it. It's simple. Jordan he's a friend of the Liberty Movement. Big time friend, big promoter. Mm-hmm. Just look it up. He's got a new album. He's trying to raise money to sit inside the studios to do what he does. So,
awesome. Well, very good. Well, I guess we want to thank Ann for calling in. I want to thank Tripp for calling in earlier tonight. Talked a lot about
this guy saying that I should look up Ron Paul girl on YouTube harassing people on every Adam Kokesh video. You may have banned her by now. That's not me. That's weird.
I have to check it out. I suggest we all go and check out and see.
And also, I'll be on Prince Vegas show, I guess, with him for now on Sunday night.
Sunday night on Prince Vegas show.
And then every night at 12 on, So, I'm going to set it all.
Show. Okay. Well, very good. Well, thanks
Alrighty.
for calling in. And this is Caleb Leverett Show, LibertyMovementRadio.com. Signing out.
Texas is the best state ever.
That's right.
Peace, homies.
Okay, bye.
The Caleb Leverett radio program is dedicated to debunking the delusional American mythology known as statism.
Initiation of force is always immoral.
Always think outside the government. Always, 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 always think outside the government.
Always, always, always.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yeah, shimmy, yeah. Give me the a bite so I can take a